Nice. Nice.
Hello, hello, and welcome everybody. Good to see you. Hello, my love, Maglor, Kanky, King. Hope you're all doing well. Viper, good to see you too. Yeah, we can do a quick Bookie Dad joke. Blue. Yeah, today we've got an invite from PQube to check out the first 4 chapters of Since Memories off the Starry Sky. It's a visual novel type game. But since it's a visual novel, like I said, it's only going to be the first 4 chapters, and then if we finish that before the stream's over, we'll move on to something else. We're just checking it out, showcasing it a little bit, trying to get some eyes on it. Because PQube is awesome, so we're trying to support them in any way we can. What is that emote? Holy loud.
Nice.
Hey Ted, what's up, dude? Why can't dinosaurs clap? Because they're dead? What? I don't want to close the game. Almost streaming done with that. Damn. I'm nowhere close to done with Metaphor, but I only play it like once a week, so. Everything began from those since memories of that day.
約束だよ。
I mean, sort of? We got to what could have been a definitive end, but I chose to reset instead of killing the princess. I did save before making those decisions, though, because, you know, it's a promise.
腹減ってんじゃないか。
Aren't you hungry? Back then,
簡単な仕事があってな。
it's an easy
その
job.
依頼人
I
に
was thinking of letting
お前に
you
も合わせてみたいと思っ
meet
て
with the。client, too.
はいはい。で、
Sounds good.
誰なの？どんな仕事？
Who are they? What kind of job is this? I can't right now. I don't think. Yeah. I was burdened with a sin.
お前はここにいろ。
You stay here.
何言ってんの？
What
俺も行く
are
よ。
you talking about? I'm going with you.
待ってよ。待ってくれ、兄貴。
Wait for me, brother. Wait for me. I cried out for dear life, and it cleaved through the almost illusory landscape. And it was directed at... A familiar face looking down at me. With a breath caught in my throat, I could see my foolish reflection in a pair of dignified black eyes hovering over me.
起きた。
Ah, you're awake. What the...
なんだじゃないでしょ。純
What
也。
the... Isn't what you should be saying here, Jinya. Mr. Fluffy, thank you for the lurk. Yeah. His dark eyes narrowed as I gave that non-answer. Her lips curled into a smile and her hair drifted to the side with a slight tilt of her head. I couldn't help but find each and every movement striking and only pulled me further from slumber.
純也、寝ぼけてるの？
Are you still half
私がわ
asleep,
かる？
Jinya? Do you know who I am? You're Chihaya.
こんな純也、珍しいわね。
Yo, Jack, what's up? It's unusual for you to act this way. Chihaya giggled, rising to her feet.
そうよ。私は北条千早。
I'm Chihaya Hojo. Chihaya. Where are we?
ここは私たちが通う大学。
Head for the clock tower at least today? I'm not familiar with that one. This is the academy we attended. Clock Tower Rewind?
あなたは水本純也。
You're
私の
Jinya
幼なじみ。
Mizumoto, my childhood friend. Childhood friend. I finally returned to the real world after being trapped in a dream. Chihaya.
そうよ。じゃあ、こ
That's
ちら
right.
は誰
Do
で
you
し
remember
ょ
who
う？
this is? Chihaya mischievously spun her fingers out in front of her chest and pointed towards the woman at her side. I knew who this person was as well. Hinata Ise.
正解。よかった。ちゃんと起きたみたい
Correct.
ね。
Thank goodness. It sounds like you're fully awake.
ここで不正解でしたら、
If you had
水を
gotten
か
the
けよう
answer
かと思い
wrong,
ま
I
し
had
た。
half a mind to spray you with water. I gave a half-hearted smile in response, but the look in her eyes behind his glasses told me it had been a joke.
そんな乱暴なことしちゃ
No
ダ
need
メ
to be so
よ。
rough.
眠り姫を
The
起こ
best
す
way to
のに
wake
は
sleeping
王子
beauty
様
is
の
with a
キスが
princess
一
kiss
番
after
なんだ
all.
から。
I see, I see. What's that supposed to mean?
相談があって純也を探してたの。
I needed your advice. I came
そう
looking
したら
for you. Only
木
to find
陰で
sleeping
眠り
beauty lying
姫
here
を見
under
つ
the
けたって
trees.
わけ。
Hey, Twaki.
Nice.
I'm clearly not cut out to be Sleeping Beauty. Huh. My response was cut short by a yawn that I always to be a yawn. That I could no longer hold back. I may have been conscious, but I needed a little bit more time to fully come to my senses.
大きなあくびね。
Quite the big yawn. My bad. I was up all night working.
そうだったの？
You did?
大丈夫？
Are you alright? She looked concerned and leaned towards me, but I gently fended her off with my hand. No matter how long we had been friends, I honestly thought it was improper for a man and a woman to be in such close proximity. Okay. I don't know what that... Yeah, I know, right? Chihaya had always been terrible at invading my personal space. I was used to it by now, but... Yeah, I got the hint. It'd be bad if people started spreading rumors about our esteemed Chihaya here. Chihaya herself, however, was acting like her usual self and remained oblivious to our concerns. Chihaya and I met a long time ago, back when we were in kindergarten. She didn't quite understand at the time that she was a high-class lady in a different social stratum. If I'd learned anything from living in this area, it was that everyone knew of the distinguished, reputable Hojo family of Sumisora. Chihaya's father was an active local politician. Her grandfather had once held a similar position, which made their bloodline all the more prestigious. Yeah, well, Ace Attorney is fantastic. It was safe to assume that a fine young lady like Chihaya was nothing short of perfect if she belonged to such an amazing family. She tried not to flaunt her fortunate upbringing, but it really was just something she aspired to hide, even though she actually couldn't. Even so, we were childhood friends despite me being raised in a normal household. Objectively speaking, I thought it was weird that I could speak so openly with someone like Chihaya. Our university friends had gone so far as to grill me about our conversations, but...
本当に大丈夫？
Are you really
少し
okay?
休んだ方
Do
がい
you
い
want
ん
to
じ
rest
ゃ
for a
ない？
little while longer? I was simply having an ordinary chat with a friend.
千早様、甘やかしてはいけません。
Chihaya-sama, you mustn't spoil him.
ひなた、
Hinata. Chihaya seemed like she wanted to interject, but Hinata immediately turned her attention back to me and continued.
体調管理も仕事のうちでしょ、
You clearly
純
need to
也
take
さん。
better care of yourself while on the job, Junya-san.
それに、何でも屋の仕事と学業との両立が大変なのは最初から分かっていた話。
You knew from the start that it would be difficult to work as a handyman and keep up on your studies at the same time.
それでもやると決めたんだか
You
ら、
decided to go
や
through
り
with it
通しなさ
regardless,
い。
so you must see it through until the end. I felt like I was being lectured by a teacher or parents, but it didn't make her words any less true, and I was left with no choice but to unconditionally surrender. You're exactly right, Hinata-san.
ちゃかさないでください。
Please don't make fun of me. Hinata looked away, seemingly bashful, but quickly regained her composure.
それに、純也さん、
Also, Junya-san,
徹夜と言いましたが、
you said you were up all
本当はお
night,
仕
but
事
I
ではな
assume
い
you
でしょ
weren't actually at work. Impressive, Hinata. A full surrender promptly for the second time. I held up both hands in defeat. Hinata sighed to say good grief.
バレバレです。
It is obvious.
そうなの？
Really?
昨日は純也さんが好きな
Junya-san
作家の
said
小
that
説の
author
発
released
売
their
日でした
brand
か
new
ら。
novel yesterday. Okay, dear.
そっ
Take care. Oh, I get it. Both of you know me so well.
たまたま小さい頃から一緒だっただけでしょ。
We just happen to have been together since we were little, that's all.
そう
Yes, our
たまたま
families
家
just
族
happen
ぐ
to
る
have
みで
been close for
15年
15 years. Chihaya looked back and forth between me and Hinata somewhat happily. Just as she said, the three of us had been friends since childhood, but
であれば純也さんには北条家と付き合いのある人間として
the
もう
Hojo
少しし
family,
っか
I
り
wish
していただき
Junya
たいもの
would
です。
get his act together a little more. This was the typical template Hinata followed when lecturing me. I needed to change the topic. So you said you needed to talk to me or Suigendo?
それも含めての相談
A little of both, I
でも
suppose. It
多
may
分
wind up with
水
me
源堂
asking
にお願いす
Suigendo
る
a
ことになる
favor.
かな
I see. In that case, rather than having you repeat yourself twice, let's go talk to my brother. Crap, I was apparently still under that dream's influence. Their expressions faltered simultaneously. Never mind. I'd better get going. I have work after this, and I'm meeting up with Jin-san. There was honestly no rush, but I didn't want them to see how pathetic I was. As long as it's not urgent, can we take care of this another time?
もちろん仕事を優先し
Of
てちょう
course.
だい
Please prioritize your work.
お仕事ならお急ぎください
If you have work, then please get going. They both nodded and returned to their usual calm selves, seemingly out of consideration for my feelings. Thank you. I've gotta go. Although I was more grateful than I let on, I spun on my heel and started to run.
Junya お兄さんの夢を見てたのかしら
I wonder if Junya was dreaming about his brother.
おそらくはこの時期ですので
It is that time of year.
もう1年になるの
Already
ね
been a year.
ねえひなた私
Hey,
冷静
Hinata,
を
I think
保
I
って
had
た
it
つもり
together
なんだ
okay,
け
but
ど
how did my face look?
顔に
心配ないでしょう
I'm
千
sure
早
you have
様
nothing
に
to
は
worry about,
心を
but
隠すなんて
I'm
芸
afraid
当
you're
でき
incapable
ま
of
せんから
hiding
ね
your emotions.
それどういう意味
What do you mean?
それに顔なんて見なくても
Besides, she
千
made us
早
how you
様の
feel
お心
without
は
having to
純
look
也
at
さん
your
には伝わっ
face.
ていますよ
それは
And what is that
どういう
supposed to
意味
mean?
行きましょうおじさまが
Oh,
お
let's
待ちです
go. Uncle is waiting for us.
ずるい
No fair. I met up with Jin-san. We drove over to today's work site at the Suigendo company car. Work site in the, yeah, I can read. Suigendo, the community-based general store that we, the Mizumoto family, operated. Jin-san was one of our employees. He'd been working for Suigendo for as long as I could remember, but the exact number of years was lost on me. He was practically a member of the family at this point.
さて頼むぜジ
Alrighty.
ュン仕
I'm
事
counting
は
on you,
ま
Jin.
あ
Today's
いつ
job
ものっ
is,
て
well,
感じだ
pretty much the usual. That's pretty big, isn't it?
依頼主は材木座の有
Our
働さん
client's
な
Oda-san from Zaimokuza. Oh, sure, you got it. With Suigendo being a general store, it was our job to pretty much do anything and everything. It was mostly physical labor ranging from staples like weeding and moving assistance to minor household repairs and downtown crowd control. We genuinely did everything. We were often asked to perform a wide variety of odd, one-off jobs for local residents, but there were some exceptions with our regular customers needing the usual. Which was great and all, but I wasn't an official Suigendo employee. I was in my third year of university, so my primary occupation was that of a student. Although I was a member of the family, I only worked part-time.
しかし晴れてくれてよかったぜ
Man, I'm so
この
glad
仕
it's
事は
sunny
雨じゃ
out.
厳しいから
This job would
な
suck in the rain. Jin-san was right. We could work through this particular job with ease under clear skies. Shin-san at the steering wheel, I was left to rock the car's oscillations in the passenger seat. Rock to the car's oscillations in the... That's a weird way of saying that. The lack of sleep and steady rocking of the vehicle almost made it feel like an adult-sized cradle, but I couldn't afford to doze off. You've got a job to do, me.
しかし遅刻なんて順らし
Still,
く
it's
ない
weird for
な
you to be late, Jin.
俺
It's
じゃ
not
悪ま
like
い
you're
し
me or something. Jin-san glanced at me out of the corner of his eye. I stayed up later than I meant to be reading a book. Oh, don't tell my old man. I'll treat you to a drink later.
買収には乗らねえぞ
I'm not gonna take your bribe, Jin. His strict stance only lasted for a second before he flashed me a wide grin.
2本だ
Make it two. Fine, fine. Despite what he said, I could picture Jin-san standing or handing the second drink to me after work. That was the kind of person he was. He'd likely say, I could do whatever I want with what's given to me, right?
んなんだ
What is it? It's nothing.
20分で着く
We'll be there in
眠い
20
なら寝
minutes.
てていい
You
ぞ
can catch a few winks if you're tired. Nah, I'll be fine. When we stopped at a red light at the intersection, Jin-san flipped on his right blinker. Jin-san, that's the wrong way.
何
What? Your blinker, we're not headed to the right.
ああ
Ah.
海沿い通りたい
I
気
mean, we
分
could
でさ
travel along the coast. Jin-san. I gave him a deliberate glare, earning a resigned smile in return.
わかったよ
Fine,
今日は
we'll
山
take a
登り
mountain
コー
route
スだ
today. When the light turned green, he urged the car to the left, and there was a long, hilly road up ahead. Sorry to be a pain.
そんなんじゃねえよ
It's nothing like that. Good morning, Kay. How you doing? I'm all right now, okay?
自分で言うやつは
Most
大
people who
抵
say that
大丈
aren't
夫じゃ
fine
ない
at
ん
all.
だよ
After a short while, Jin-san quietly murmured to himself,
1年か
A year already, huh? Yeah. A year had passed since then. My older brother, Takaya Mizumoto, had died in a traffic accident. He was 7 years older than me, and everyone looked up to him. Yeah, I get that, Kay. Yes, Takaya was my older brother and everyone's hero. Although he could be strict at times, he was kind, dependable, and would always lend a helping hand if someone asked for it. I'm sure it would sound fake if I were to say he could make friends with anyone, but he was genuinely that sort of person. Takaya was, in reality, always at the center of any interpersonal groups, whether it was among friends, with the locals, or otherwise. Maybe I could call him a facilitator? Takaya was truly skilled at making connections with people and bringing them together. Planets congregated and revolved around the radiant sun in a smooth, miraculous fashion. That was the sort of person Takaya had been. From where I stood, everyone had always looked so happy whenever they were with him. Takaya never ceased to amaze me when I was genuinely excited to watch him when I was younger. Heroes really do exist. That's my big brother. That was the sort of impression I had of him. But I started to see things for what they really were. The difference between myself and Takaya. Although we were siblings, we couldn't be more different. I didn't have the sort of personality that attracted others. I could be kind to everyone, but I didn't have the wisdom or the strength to help those in need. Unlike him, I wasn't the sun. Nothing went smoothly with me at the center. Everyone has something they're good at. If you want to find out what that is, you need to connect with others or be with those who become even better at people when you're with them. Takaya had once said that to me. It wasn't an especially difficult concept, but I couldn't be like Takaya.
おいジュン
Hey, Jin.
ああそのなんだ 悪かったよ
Yeah, my bad. But why are you apologizing, Jin-san? If anything, I should apologize to him, as everything he said was the truth.
まだ1年か
It's only been a year, huh? That's right. Our conversation trailed off. We made our way up the mountain without slowing down.
こんにちは。昨日お電話いた。
Yeah. Jeez, I'm not trying to do that.
いただきました。水源堂です。
Oh, I spoke on the phone yesterday. Where's Suigendo? Ah, that's how I open it. I keep trying to hit escape to open this menu, and it's like, nope. Desi was complaining the voices were too quiet.
はいはい、今行きます。
Yes, yes, I'll be right there. Yo ho! She tottered down the hall with a heap of books in hand and headed for the stairs. How many dozens more trips will we make with these today?
しかしよくまあこんなに溜め込むもんだ。
Man, she's built up quite a
前に来てか
collection,
ら
and
半
I
年
think
も
it's
経
been
って
half
な
a
いの
year
に。
since we came here last. You're right. Uda-san was a regular client of Suigenda's. She was a bit, no, quite a book woman who had crammed her apartment full with books. Over the last couple of years, she would call and arrange for us to deliver her books to the secondhand book drop-off whenever she eventually ran out of space to sleep.
ま、お
Wow.
客様の事情に口を出すのは仕事じゃねえな。
Well, it's not our place to judge what our clients do.
しかしじゃあ、
Still, Jin,
それ
isn't it a
多く
little
ないか？
much? Don't fall
こ
over.
けんなよ。
I can handle it. As I said that, I went down the stairs ahead of Jin-san when I ran into a small girl who had just raced down the stairs. Ugh! I nearly dropped the pile of books, but somehow managed to keep my balance.
言わんこっちゃない。半分持つよ。
Told you so. I'll carry half. Please do.
すみません。考え事してて。
Sorry, I was spacing out. The girl I had bumped into bowed her head apologetically. She was sort of the Misura, probably a high schooler? No, maybe a middle schooler? No, it's my fault. I guess I should ask, but you didn't hurt yourself, right?
いえ、大丈夫。
No, I'm alright. The girl looked at me with her mouth still slightly ajar. Kind of an unusual reaction. Are you sure you're okay? The same girl had been staring at me in a daze, practically pushed me out of the way and went up the stairs without a word. She ran towards the room furthest inside and all but dove in to get away, then closed the door. What the?
一目惚れじゃない？
Isn't
ジ
that
ン
love
に
at
は
first
年
sight?
下にモテるか
Gee, you're
ら、
popular with the
アイ
younger
ノちゃんに
ladies.
ライ
Looks
バル
like
登
Aina-chan
場
is
だ
a new
な。
rival. Jin-san looked incredibly amused. And wait, why bring up Aino-chan's name there?
くれぐれも
Don't do
法
anything
律
to
に
get you
触
in
れる
trouble
こ
with
と
the
す
cops.
んなよな。
Would you lay off and help me load this stuff up?
へいへい。
Fine, fine. That appears to be everything. As always, we'll be taking these books into our care.
次も頼むね。
I'm counting on you for next time. The room was fairly pristine now, but it would likely be packed with books in less than 6 months. Sooner or later, these books would fall over and she'd find herself in a real dilemma after they swallowed her up, but that wasn't for me to worry about. Alright, please excuse me. I bowed politely and hopped in the car where Jin-san was waiting.
さて、本屋でも行こうかな。
Why don't I head to the bookshop?
ああ、あずさちゃん。
Oh, Azusa-chan.
騒がしくてごめんなさいね。
Sorry for all the noise.
今の人たちは
Who are those people?
水源堂だよ。何でも屋の。
Suigendo, a general store.
何でも屋ですか。
General store?
便利な連中だよ。 この辺では重宝されてる。
Times around here.
八幡宮のあたりに店
They
が
have
あ
a
るんだ。
shop near the
あずさ
Hachiman
ちゃんも
Shrine.
何
If
かあったら
anything
頼
ever
む
comes
と
up,
いい
you
よ
can。go to them for help too.
八幡宮のあたり。
Near Hachiman Shrine.
いいかな。じゃあ
Are you
私は
all set?
本屋行くから。
I'm off to the bookshop then.
す すみません。
Oh,
あ
sorry.
りがとうございました。
Thank you very much.
いいよ。あずさちゃんと話せてよかった。
I'm glad I got to talk with you, Azusa-chan.
水源とそんなことって
That means...
そんなことって
That means... What is this girl freaking out about? This is my stop. I had him park in front of Sumisora Station and I only got out. Jin-san was headed back to meet the vendor of the drop-off location for the second-hand books, which is where they would be appraised. I wouldn't be much help to him if I did tag along, so I had him drop me off along the way.
ガソリン代を節約しようなんてさすが後継ぎ。一発に経営意識が芽生えてるな。
Trying to keep the fuel costs down, huh? That's the owner's son for you. Your management senses are really starting to come into their own. It's not like that. My old man said as much the other day. If you use our vehicles for personal use, it's gonna come out of your salary.
おやっさんがよく言う冗
You know
談
he
だ
says that
よ。
all the time,
知ってんだ
right?
ろ。
The truth is, Miss Sora asked me to grab some stuff for dinner.
それなら仕方ない。
Not much
社
you can do
長
about that
命令
then.
よりみそらちゃん
First,
命
Miss
令
Sora
の
are
方
higher
が
priority
優
than
先
the
度は
company
高い。
president. Miss Sora was my little sister. She was going to be a third year in high school this spring and would have her hands full with entrance exams. Still, she spared no effort when it came to household chores and fighting bargains, as she always made sure to text me a shopping list over Choco. Then again, her entrance exams are coming up and I'd like to lighten her workload.
いやー、みそらちゃん自身がいらない気遣いだって怒るんじゃないか。
Didn't Miss Sora-chan say it was
家事は
necessary
自
to
分の
abuse her so
役目だっ
much?
てさ。
She'd probably say chores are my responsibility. Yeah, you're probably right. We had no mother in our home. She got sick and passed away shortly before Misora enrolled in elementary school. Our father and Takaya had raised us ever since. At some point along the way, Misora had taken over all the household work and was promoted to our manager at Suigendo. Neither I nor our old man could defy her. Alright, would you mind taking care of the rest?
ああよ。今日は直帰する。
I'm gonna head home
マン
now,
も
but
明日
I'll
戻
return
す
the
から。
van tomorrow. Jin-san waved to me from the car window and took off. Alright, let's knock out the shopping. Just now? No, I must be seeing things. Kanagawa Prefecture, Sumisora City. It was common knowledge that this was one of the primary tourist locations that represented the entire Kanto region. Tourists traveled far and wide year-round to check out the various shrines and temples, like the Sumisora Buddha statue, the Sumisora Hachiman Shrine, as well as the Zenia... Damn, I cannot fucking read right now. Zeniarai Benzaiten statue, or shrine. I'm saying statue, jeez. The autumn months were especially packed with students on field trips. Beachgoers littered the coast over the summer, and there was often a huge turnout at Ashikajima, where there was an aquarium famous for its dolphin shows. This upcoming Golden Week peak travel season for the city, although the beach wasn't open for the public yet, droves of people came to the Buddha statue, Hachiman Shrine, and Ashikajima looking for a good time. Yeah, exactly, Kay, exactly. There was a sharp decline in visitors last year due to a record-setting infectious outbreak, but everyone was excited to make up for lost time. This simultaneously meant an increase in work for Suigendo in the general store. Small-time requests such as door hinges in poor shape or cracked tile on a person's floor came in on a daily basis. While my old man took on the majority of those tasks, the clients would pay the shop and its Suigendo would take its cut. Once all was said and done, I would use what money I earned to purchase ingredients for today's dinner. You could really feel the economy moving. Looking at Miss Sora's list, yep, bought everything.
Oi! Jun-chan!
Hey, Jun-chan! At the green grocer across the street, the shopping district chairman waved me over as he walked over. Hello.
ちょうどよかった。
Perfect timing.
修理の話。
How long do you
あれ
think
い
the
つ頃
repair is
に
gonna
なりそ
take?
う？
The sunshade, right? The part should arrive tomorrow. The chairman's shop had a mobile-style sunshades, awnings to use the proper name, which were old and moved poorly, so Subindo performed annual maintenance. The awnings themselves had been installed decades ago, and they utilized oddly shaped bolts. These had poor mobility once they wore out, so we swapped them out periodically. The manufacturer had long since gone out of business, so there was nowhere to procure them from. My father asked a favor of a factory he was familiar with and had them manufacture the bolts from a made-to-order basis. These were the sorts of jobs the general shop undertook when they had long held roots in their local area. I can handle the installation myself, and we should be able to make it in time for the weekend, even if the company president is
助
away.
かるよ。
That'd be great.
ところで、あ
By
の
the
子は
way,
友達かい？
is she a friend of yours? Huh? I looked where the chairman pointed.
あれ？
Oh,
いなくなっちまった。
she disappeared.
小さな女の子
It
が
looked like the small
ジュ
girl
ン
was
君をじっ
staring
と
right
見
at
つめてたよう
you.
に見えたんだが、
Maybe a friend of Misora's? She does come to the office once in a while.
いや、そんな感じで
didn't
も
seem
な
like
かっ
that's
た
who
け
she
ど
was
な。
to me.
まあいいや。
Whatever.
じゃあ、
Looks like you
頼ん
got
だよ。
this. Yes, sir. I'll let the company president know. Once the chairman went back into the shop, I turned back around one more time. Komachidori was the same as ever, and there was no way a girl would be leering at me. Oh well. Once you left Komachidori and walked along the path that crossed in front of Sumisora Hachiman Shrine, you would find the Suigendo office. The office only occupied a small corner of what was essentially my residence. I lived together with my sister Misora and father Awashio. My father was the one who founded Suigendo. Although the company primarily focused on manual labor, it was a valued business in the local area. My father and Jin-san were the only two full-time employees, while Misora and I helped out part-time. The office remained locked while my father and Jin-san were out on a job, which left Misora to tend to the shop once she got home from school. Just as I would unlock the door, I happened to sense someone watching me from behind. I get my hand on the handle and turned back to look. There was street traffic, but nobody looking at me. Just my imagination? This may have been a lingering, bizarre midday dream I'd had. I'm back. I did the shopping.
おかえりなさい、ジュンヤ。
Welcome back, Jin. Chihaya and Hanada, who I had split up with at the university, were seated on the sofa they used for business negotiations and drinking barley tea. I suppose it wasn't out of the norm to see my childhood friends act like this. Place was their home away from home. You're here? I would have come straight back if you choked with me.
お仕事の邪魔しちゃ悪いでしょ。私たちも今来たところだから。
We just got here. Both Chihaya and Hinata had come over often to play until middle school. Visits were scarce once they enrolled in an all-girls high school, but it wasn't unusual for them to stop by the office to chat every now and again. For that matter, Suigendo considered the Hojo and Hisei families valued clients. After setting aside the shopping tote filled with food on the desk, I took a peek inside and found no trace of my sister. Where's Misora? She usually keeps an eye on the shop.
私たちが来たらアイナちゃんと飛び出していきましたよ。
She flew out the door with Aino-chan when we got here. Those girls.
おにぴが帰ってくるまで
She
店
said
番
to
よ
clear
ろ
the
しく。
shop until Bro comes home.
アイノちゃんは留守
Aino-chan
番し
did
なく
ask
てい
whether
い
or
の
not it
か
was
な
okay
っ
for them to
て
bail
言ってた
though.
けどね。
Shouldn't that normally be the other way around? Well, Aino-chan did seem like the type who would neglect her duties to watch over the house. Aino-chan was Misora's best friend. She was Misora's classmate who she known since middle school, and it seemed like they were quite close. Aino-chan came over to hang out at our place basically every day. Unfortunately, Misora used Aino-chan as an excuse to skip out on watching the shop all the time. I'll have to confront her about it later. Well, it's fine if she's gone since I'll be here for the rest of the night.
優しいお兄さんね。
What a kind brother you are. This kind of thing is normal. Normal.
私も妹が欲しかっ
I
た
wish I had a
な。
little sister too.
そんな風に
I
普
would
通
love
だ
to
よ
say
普通
things like it's normal,
とか
just
言ってみ
normal
た
like
い。
you did. That again.
千早様、お話の続きを。
Let's continue our conversation. I will be right back. I really need to go use the restroom. I'm gonna go to the back screen and we'll be back as soon as I can. Sorry about that. We're back. Yeah.
そうね。
Oh, you're right. Hinata got their seemingly derailed conversation back on track. It was a common sight for us when Haya and I were alone. We would often get sidetracked and chat about nothing particularly important.
純也、さっき
Junya,
の
you might
話
have
の
picked
続
up our
き、
conversation from
今
earlier?
してもいい？
Is that why you're here? Sure, I don't mind. Oh, you mentioned something about a favor before. A wild Espathra has appeared? Catch that Pokemon. I sat down beside Hinata and faced Chihaya. This favor isn't a request for Sugwendo, I assume.
そうなるのかもしれないけど、
It may end up that way,
ま
but I
だ
don't
その
believe
手
it
前
amounts
の
to that
話か
yet.
な。
She set the cup of tea, barley tea aside, faced me head on, and gave me a probing
お
look.
じいさまの家、
Do you remember
覚えてる？
grandfather's residence? The three of us
小さい
played
頃
there when we were
3
little.
人で遊んだことがあるんだけど、
The old Hojo Manor? The one in Matoi?
それ覚え
That's
てて
it!
く
You
れたのね。
remembered! Chaya's face lit up at my quick response. She seemed rather delighted, in fact. Which meant... Did you think I'd forget?
だってずいぶ
Well,
ん
it was
昔
quite a
のこ
long
とで
time
しょ。
ago. Even Hinata
忘
agreed
れ
it
てい
wouldn't
て
be
もお
strange
か
if
し
you
く
had
ないって
forgotten.
ひなたが。
When she brought the subject up, Hinata flitted a look my way.
純也さんですから。
It is Junior-san we're talking about. What's that supposed to mean?
いえ、別に。
Oh, nothing. It clearly seemed like she had something in mind.
私はきっと覚えてくれてるって
I knew
信
you'd
じてたわよ。
remember. We made a lot of great memories there. We got to play at a huge house, and Grandma and Grandpa were always kind to us. Grandpa and Grandma, Chaya's grandparents, had lived in the old Hojo estate. The three of us had played there a lot in elementary school. It was a huge house with tons of rooms, and we spent most of our time playing hide and seek. Visits eventually became scarce, and I stopped seeing her grandparents.
そっか。
I see. Chaya's lip curled into a smile. She must have been reminiscing about those times too. Okay, I can turn him down. That's fine. However, her expression quickly grew serious.
去年おじいさまが
After
亡くなっ
grandfather
た
passed
後、
away last year, we had a lot of difficulty deciding on how to manage the old estate.
なかなか決まっていなかったの。
Is that better, or...? Yes, they had already passed on. Grandma a few years back and Grandpa last year. As such, the estate was unoccupied. I had no idea its ownership was still up in the air, though. But... since you say you had difficulty deciding...
お父様にお願いして、
Ask father
私
if
が
we
リ
could
ノベー
renovate
ション
it.
させてもらうことにしたの。
Huh? Renovation? A technological update?
それはイノベーションです。リノベーションは
That's
家を修
innovation.
復す
Renovation
ること。
means to have the home restored. It's a joke.
もう成人してるん
You're a
だから
grown man now, so try to
常
act
識
like
人
it,
になってく
Junior-san.
ださい、純也さん。
Is he a grown man? He's still in school. You're as strict as ever. Rather, I was more shocked that I couldn't crack a joke about it. I mean, Chihaya leading an entire home renovation? Sorry, you're basically telling me that house is yours now?
そうじゃないの。
Not quite. I didn't expect that sort of answer as she shook her head.
私ね、
I'd like to
あ
open it
の
up.
家で
I'd like to open up a shop
お
inside the
店を開
house.
きたいの。
A shop?
そう、
Yes.
人が集
More
まる
people
よ
will
うなね。
congregate, and I want to ask you to help me do
そ
it,
のお手伝いを
Jinya.
純也にお願いしたい
I
の
had。no idea where she was going with this. I mean, I understood she wanted to turn the house into a shop of some sort, but why was she suggesting something like this? Hinata, Did you know about this?
千早様のご希望に
I will not
私
interfere
が
with
口を挟む
Chihaya-sama's
ことはありま
wishes.
せん。
You look pretty unhappy about all this, all things considered. I know what this was. She was trying to get Chihaya to come to me for advice to put a stop to Chihaya's whims. This had happened multiple times in the past. Surely Chihaya had a reason, but this was too much. She wanted to open a shop? Chihaya wasn't a little kid dreaming of the future. Besides, it's not like she had time to manage a business. Chihaya, I'm sure you know.
何を
Know what? That you're gonna get married once you graduate university. Chihaya was a lady of the Hoja family. Her position came with responsibilities far departed from those of us commoners. One of those being marriage. When I pointed that out to her, Chihaya's poker face remained
も
intact.
ちろん
Of course! Well then... The office door opened, making just enough noise to drown out my voice. It was the girl I ran into at the apartment building. Perhaps my mind really hadn't been playing tricks on me the few times I spotted her on my way home. The girl stood in the open door and proceeded to stare at us with wide eyes. Chihaya remained silent, appearing perplexed by the girl's strange behavior, and Hinata eyed her quizzically. Her being here would suggest that she was a customer of Suigendo's. Welcome. May I help you with something? First things first, I got her from the sofa and gave her the conventional greeting.
高谷じゃ
You're not Takaya? Oh, that's what it was? My brother and I had a similar physique, especially from behind, and it was a mistake people often made. Everyone around here knew my brother, and it appeared this girl did as well. She was clearly in a daze when I approached her and leaned down enough to meet her gaze. You knew Takaya? I'm sorry, but my brother's no longer with us. He was in a traffic accident last year.
知ってる
I know. And we have an ad break? Boo. Boo! Ad breaks. Uh, Man, the amount of friggin' follows I get on Twitter that are just people trying to sell wares that are like commissions. Alright, ad break seems to be done. I know. I see. It's possible she kind of glimpsed me from behind and believed Takaya was alive, which is how she ended up following me here.
純也お茶でも飲んでいただいたら高谷さんのお知り
Why
合い
not
なん
offer
で
her
し
some
ょ
tea? Isn't she an acquaintance of Takaya-san's? Chihaya came up beside me at some point and apprehensively gave that suggestion. That's a good idea. If you wouldn't mind, why don't you tell me how you knew my brother? Like that. Huh? What?
なんでそんな風に笑えるの
How could you smile like that?
お前の
It's your... The girl looked up at me, her eyes flaring with rage.
お前の
It's your fault! Who are you?
お前のせいで
It's your fault!
お前のせいで高谷は死んだんだ
It's your fault Takaya died! You killed him! I know, right? Ugh. No, we're still in chapter 1. I figured we'd at least be in chapter 2 if it was playing the intro. It was quiet. Almost as if all life on this plane ceased to exist. Or like it wasn't of this world at all. Yeah, right. That wasn't possible. Oh, but back then this place had acted as an entrance to another world. I was left behind and there was nobody else left. He had passed on. Brother, some girl named Azusa came by today. In my mind I recognized those eyes teeming with animosity. This young woman who still seemed too young and innocent was tainted by a dark pitch-black loathing. As for why, she said it was my fault that she died. It was true. I was responsible for my brother's death. I had let him die. I may as well have killed him. Who in the world was she, and what sort of relationship did she have with Takaya? Who was that girl, brother? I had no clue who she was, and dwelling on it wasn't going to help anything. Takaya was gone, and there was no telling what he had going on in his personal life. All I knew is that young girl idolized Takaya. I was the responsible villain who had killed her hero. Hey, brother. What should I do? How should I deal with her? The questions just kept piling up, seeming to enshroud me on all sides. If I piled them all together until they reached the heavens, then perhaps they could reach Takaya on the other side. It's a promise? Alright.
腹減ってんじゃないか。
Aren't you hungry? Huh? When I looked to my side, Takaya was smiling from behind the steering wheel.
なんでそう思うんだよ。
Oh, why do you think that?
せっかくドライブに誘ってやったのに。
I went to the
延
trouble to
々ぶっ
invite you
ちずらしてるか
out on
ら
a。drive, but you've had this sour look on your face this whole time. It was a dream I often had around this time of year.
あのね、誰のせいだ
Whose
と思ってん
fault
の？
do you think that is?
帰るなり車に押し
You
込まれ
stuck me
て
into the
理
car
由
the
も
second
目
you
的
get
地も
back and
教
won't
えて
tell
も
me
らえない。
why or where we're
ぶっちょ
going.
ずら
Of
にも
course
な
I'd
る
be
でしょ。
upset. It's part of the conversation I had with my brother right before the accident.
食っていいぞ、それ。
You can eat that. Takaya pointed to the dashboard with his chin, gesturing to his bag. I took a look inside to find a single wrapped up hamburger, and all I could do was glare at him.
だから、不機嫌なのは飯じゃなくて。
Again, it's not the food I'm unhappy with.
食わないのか？
You're not gonna eat it?
食うけど。
I will. It's true I'd been hungry. I opened the wrapper and bit into it. Takaya smiled when I looked over at me from the driver's seat.
飯は大事だぞ。何を
Meals
す
are
るにしても、
No
まず
matter
は
what you
腹いっ
do,
ぱい
do
食
it
ってからだ。
on a full stomach.
兄貴こそ これ夕
I
食
can
なんじ
say
ゃ
the
ないの
same to you. Isn't this your dinner?
後でがっつり食うからいい。
I'll eat plenty later. Takaya was 7 years my senior, always moving ahead of me, protecting me and guiding me. After our mom passed away from illness, he had acted as a stand-in mother for Misora and I. We had fought more times than I could count, but I did believe he was someone I could never compete with. I considered Takaya more of a dependable adult than our dad. As I munched away on the hamburger, Takaya spoke to
簡
me.
単な仕事があってな。その依頼人に
It's an easy
お前に
job.
も合わせてみた
I
い
was
と思っ
thinking of
て。
letting you meet the clients too. The dream was gonna end soon
彼女
enough.
いたんだ。
A girlfriend? Didn't know you had one.
違う。
That's not it.
知ってる。いたら気づく。
I'd know if you had one. In the end, I wasn't sure where Takaya was headed or who we wanted to meet.
今日の相手は違うって意味だ。
What I meant was the person we're meeting today is different.
え、
Huh?
じゃあいるの彼女。
So you really do have a girlfriend?
お前にできたら教えてやる。
I'll let you know if I get one. I never did find out whether Takaya was dating anyone.
はいはい。で
Sounds good.
誰なの
Who
どんな
is
仕
it?
事
What kind of job? The reason being, the accident happened immediately after this.
あ
Well, I received a major shock to the head, so I had hardly any recollection of the accident
あ
itself.
簡単な仕事なんだ。
It's a simple job, which is why the dream always ended here. Damn. Huh? The dream was still going. This is normally where I would wake up.
あそこ。
Over there. It was Suigendo.
見てくる。
I'll take a look. Kaya was there.
お前はここにいろ。
You stay here. What are you talking about?
何言ってんの俺も行くよ。
What are you talking about? I'm going with you.
待てよ。
Wait.
高谷。
Takaya. Kaya turned the moment my hand grazed his shoulder. However, the young woman who came to Suigendo yesterday had taken his place.
君は
Your...
お前のせいで高谷は死んだんだ
It's your fault Takaya died! You killed him! As soon as she came into view, an intense pain rushed through the pit of my stomach. Wait, what the heck is an iron thorns? Huh? Either way, congrats on the Pokemon. I keeled over from the excruciating pain and flopped over, face down. What? The car was up in flames, and someone was collapsed beside it. It was Takaya.
兄貴
Br-
兄貴
Brother! Brother!
何してんだよおい
What are you doing? Hey!
寝てんじゃねえよ逃
There's
げ
no
ろ
time to sleep! Get up! I tried to stand up, but the dull pain hit my stomach once more. Again and again and again.
高いや
Takaya! I had to say Takaya. Hey, that hurts.
やっと起きた
You're finally awake! When I woke up, Misora was in her uniform and had just landed an axe kick on my stomach.
いつまで寝てんの順に
How long are you gonna
朝ご
sleep
はん
for,
できてるよ
Jinny? Breakfast is ready. I checked the clock and saw it was 5 minutes past our usual breakfast time. Strange, had my alarm not gone off? Either way, it seemed I was the one who needed to apologize. Although it didn't quite sit right with me. Sorry.
順にが寝坊なんて
It's fair to see you
珍しい
oversleep.
ね
It's fair for you to oversleep. Must have been fun for Misora to get the upper hand on me when I was normally the one always to wake her up. She was squishing and tickling my belly with her foot.
ほれほれ
Come
早く起き
on,
な
you
いと
better get up and or else I'll do fist to you. Idiot, cut it out. Get your foot off me. Also, don't spread your legs in front of other people. Your skirt's too short for it.
はーい
Fine. I finally crawled out of my futon and got up. Ugh, my stomach was turning. Darn you, Miss Sora. If you're gonna wake me up, do it like a normal person.
でもどうしたの昨日
What's wrong,
私より
though?
先に
You
寝
went
て
to
た
bed
じゃ
earlier
ん
than I did yesterday. You just stay up too late into the night. A healthy college-age guy like me needs an infinite amount of sleep.
そんなのもったいないよ
That's a total
若者
waste.
はもっと
Young people need
遊
to
ば
have
な
more
きゃ
fun. You're the young one here. Wait, did you peep into my room again without permission?
いいじゃん見られ
What's
て
the
困る
harm?
ことしてたら見なか
If
った
I
こ
see
と
something
に
I
するか
shouldn't, then
ら
I'll
さ
pretend I didn't see anything at all. Idiot. Here, I'm gonna get changed. I'll be down in a minute.
はーい
Okay.
忘れてた
I forgot. What is it?
おはよう順に
Morning, Genie. Sure. Good morning.
早くしてね
Hurry it up, okay? I'll be down soon. Truth was, I knew Miss Sora had quietly come to check on me sometime last night because she was worried. Although I turned off my lights and got into bed last night, I hadn't actually been able to get any sleep until dawn. That young girl from Suigendo wound up weighing heavily on my mind. When I came through the kitchen, it was just my old man sitting at the table. He had the newspaper out and hadn't touched his breakfast yet. Morning.
Oh,
Hey! I looked around from Miss Sora, took a seat, and found her kneeling in front of the altar in the neighboring room. She put her hands together with a bowl of freshly made rice in front of her and smiled at the
お
altar.
はようタカにお母さん
Morning, Takani, Mom.
よしと
There
味
we go.
噌汁温め
I
直し
ordered
た
the
の
miso soup for you, so
すぐよそう
dig
ね
in. Oh, sure. It was a typical Japanese breakfast: white rice, a rolled omelet, grilled fish with grated daikon, and a tofu miso soup.
順にご飯いつもくらいでいい
Jinny, are you fine with the usual amount of rice? Yeah. Misora's mannerisms reminded me of a housewife, especially when she grabbed the rice spatula with her beautifully manicured hands and served rice into a bowl. Talk about a disparity. I couldn't help but let my mind wander all over again. If I were to put it elegantly, Misora had all the trappings and otherwise of someone enjoying being a high school girl to the fullest, although she was one of those so-called trendy types. However, the way she looked and spoke were the only oddities about her. On the inside, she was as domestic as they came. She wasn't the type of person who got scowled at for causing trouble for others or acting out of youthful recklessness.
ミソラ、俺は大盛りで頼むわ。
I'd like a big helping,
忙しいん
please,
でな。
Misora. I've got a busy day ahead.
オッケー
Okay. That was likely why Dad never said anything either. Well, not that Dad had ever been the type to criticize every little thing as kids did anyway.
い
いた
ただ
だきま
きますす。
Thanks for the meal. Once everything was ready at the dining table, we gave thanks for our meal as a family. It had been like this for as long as I can remember. Lunch was obviously more difficult, but we ate breakfast and dinner together as often as possible. That was probably rare in most modern households these days. This is probably influenced by our family running a general store. The dining table had become a place for us to have everything from casual conversations like what happened today to what jobs were required of us in the neighborhood. At least that was what our old man Suigendo's president liked to say. I obviously wasn't quite at that level yet. Takaya had apparently been quite perceptive of others' feelings though, and maybe I shouldn't have been surprised. But this morning's topic
変な
was...
客が来たって
I heard a strange guest came by. I heard we had a strange guest come by. My old man broke the ice as he dug into his salted salmon. He hadn't made it home until late due to a job that ran long, so we hadn't told him about the details of what happened yesterday. Basically... What is it, Jinny?
なん順に
Don't what me. I told you didn't need to tell Dad yet.
そうだったっけ
Oh, did you? Give Misora a heads up in case that same girl came by again while she was tending to the store. Jeez.
けど隠す
But
必要な
there's
く
no
な
need to
い？
hide it, is
むしろ
there?
こういうの社長に言うのが大事じ
If
ゃん。
anything, it's
ほら
important to report this because the company to the company president, you know, report, contact, discuss. She had to bring up a sound argument now.
だな。ミソラの言う通り
Yeah,
だ。
Misora has the right idea.
どんな
So
客
what
だっ
sort
た
of
んだ
guests were they? Not so much a guest as a little girl. Despite my reluctance, I told him what happened. It's your fault Takaya died. I better keep that part to myself. It seemed like she knew Takaya.
へえ。でも聞いた感じ、
But from what I'd heard,
私と
she's
同い
the same
年
age
か。
as me,
もうちょっ
maybe a
と
little
下か
younger?
な。
知ってる子だったりしないのか？
Are you sure you
お
don't
前
know her?
誰とでも友達になるだろ？
You make friends with everyone.
知らない。うちの学
No
校の子で
idea.
もないんじゃ
I
ない
don't
か
think she
な。
was a girl from our school. Misoro is similar to our old man and Takaya, or basically not like me, and was good at getting along with people. It wouldn't be strange if she were acquainted with everyone at school.
お客さんの
Maybe
娘
she's
さ
a
んとか
customer's
かな。
daughter or something? Dad was well connected due to work, but he seemed just as confused as I was.
タカニーとじゃ結構年が
She's
離れ
much
てるけ
younger
ど
than Takani. I wonder how
ど
they
うい
knew
う
each
知り合い
other.
なんだろうね。
さあな。
Not a clue. Dad kept his head tilted with wonder as he spoke. Something wrong?
そういうわけじゃないが、
It's
ちょ
not
っと
that.
思い出した
I
な。
just remembered something.
去年の年
It
明け
was
くらい
last
か
year,
な。
around the start of the year or
何か
so.
探してたんだ
Takaya
よ
was
な。
looking for
高谷
something. Looking? You mean for work?
いや、あいつが
No,
勝
it
手にや
was
ってたこ
something he
と。
was up to on his own.
仕事が終わった
I
後、
offered to give him a
車に
ride
乗
a
らず
few
に一
times
人
after
で帰る
work,
こと
but
が
he
何
ended
度
up
かあっ
going
て
home on
な。
his own.
理由を聞いたら、
I asked him
下
why, and
に
he
頼
told
ま
me he
れ
was
て
looking
探
for
し
something
物
at
をしてる
someone's
って。
request.
なんでだろうな。
I wonder why.
その子
That
の
was the
話を
first
聞いて、急
thing
に
that
思
popped
い出し
into
た。
my head when I heard about this girl. Takaya was searching for something? Since Dad didn't know the circumstances either, it had to be something that he took on privately and not work-related. Takaya always helped out those in trouble, so it was plausible.
おはようございます。
Good morning! Oh, this voice.
はいのだ。入ってきていいよ。
It's Aino! Come on in! Moments later, the owner of the voice suddenly poked her face in.
ソラ、おはよ
Sora, good morning.
おはよ
Morning!
いらっしゃい。すまないね。
Sorry
いつ
about
も
this.
ミソラの準備
Sora
が
is
遅く
always
て。
late to get ready.
う。
Not
私、
at
こ
all. I
こ
love
に
to
来る
come
の
here.
好きですから。
父さんと順に
It
の
just
お
takes
世話
time for
に
me to
時
take
間
care
が
of
かか
Dad
る
and
だけで
Jinny.
す。
Misora held her hands together apologetically towards Aino-chan and she protested to Dad.
ごめん。まつげ直すからちょっとだ
Sorry,
け
I'm
待
gonna
って
touch up my lashes, so give me a sec.
まだ時間あるから大丈夫だよ。
We still have time, so that's fine.
うん。
Hmm?
じゃあ、
Then
順
take care
に
of
のお
Jinny
世
for
話
me.
よろしくね。そ
Sora? Why did she need to watch over me exactly?
らもう、そうだ
Yeesh.
ったら。
Come on, Sora.
よし。
Alright. Hmm?
おはようございます。純也さん。
Good morning, Jinya-san. Yeah, morning, Aino-chan. Yes. Aino-chan had come to pick up Miss Sora again today. Impressive. She's worthy of calling herself Miss Sora's best friend.
純也さん、
Jinya-san,
お加
are you not
減良
feeling
くない
well?
んですか？
You have dark circles under your
見ました
eyes.
ん？
Hmm?
本
Oh,
当だ
you're
な。
right.
寝不
Did
足
you
か
not sleep well? Yeah. I was up late reading a book. It was actually the night before.
寝不足ですか？
Not enough sleep, huh?
私も
I've
た
done
ま
that
にやっ
too.
ちゃいます。
I lose track of time when I start
動画
watching
見たりして
videos.
つい。
So what kind of
本って
books do you read?
純也さんはどんな本を読むん
Anna-chan
です
asked
か？
with a strangely serious look in her eyes. Huh? What kind? I'm not picky when it comes to genre, but I'll read any book by my favorite authors. I haven't missed a release yet.
好きな作家さんですか？
Your favorite authors? If you
よけ
wouldn't
れば
mind, perhaps you could
何
lend me a
かお
book you
すすめを
recommend?
貸してもらえたりなんて。
Hey, Sion, morning, dude. I'm doing well. How are you? Yeah, you bet. Thank you so much. You sounded so happy about it. Was Aino-chan a book lover? Nah, I think Aino-chan's a junior lover. Still, though, I'm impressed you noticed. Is Aino-chan the thoughtful type? She always seemed to be watching over and being overly considerate of others. Compared to Misora, who could be a little careless, they made a great pair and complemented each other.
いやー、ミソラとは違うな。気立てもいいし、
Boy, you're
本
so
当に
different
よ
from
くできた
Misora.
娘
A
さんだ。
wonderful disposition and a truly well put together young lady.
いえ、そんな。
Oh, you flatter me. I suspected there was some favoritism at place, as I had watched over since she was in middle school, but I'd agreed all the same. She had referred to me as Big Brother until a short while ago and took to calling me Junior-san instead. Truth be told, it made me feel a little lonely. You've really grown up, huh, Aino-chan? That just showed she wasn't at that age anymore. I was nearly moved to tears. Huh?
順にあいのに変なこと言うと通報するかね。
Jenny, if you're being weird towards Aino, I'll report you. Why report me? But no, maybe that did have a weird implication to it. Sorry, that's not how I meant it.
いいです。
It's
私は
okay.
その
I
嬉しかっ
suppose
たというか。
I would say it made me happy.
お待た
Sorry for the wait. Although Misora returned after getting dressed, I didn't have the slightest clue what she
せ。あいの、
changed.
ちゃんと順にのお世話し
I
てた。
know, did you take good care of Jinni?
だからもう
Come on,
変
don't
な
say
こと
stuff
言わ
like
ない
that.
で。
Let's get going.
Quick,
Sorry to intrude.
お邪魔しました。
Yeah, what's up, DJ? How you doing? We're off.
おう、二人とも
Yeah,
気を
take
つけて
care,
な。
you two.
順にさっきの言葉覚えて
Jinny,
る
I
か
remember what you
ね。
said earlier. Misora wished her finger at me and left with that parting remark. She's gonna hold this over my head for a while. Very
自
good.
業
Good,
自
glad to
得
hear
だ
it.
な。可愛い妹をいじめるからだぞ。
Payback stinks. That's what you get for bullying your adorable little sister. I haven't bullied anyone. It was just a little joke.
ごちそうさん。俺は仕事があるからな。
Thanks for
片
the
付け
food.
頼むぞ。
I've got to head to work, so would you mind cleaning up? Yep. My man finished breakfast before me and stood up. Essentially, whoever had more time to spare between him and I was in charge of cleaning up after a meal. Alright. Now wasn't the time to slack off. Better hurry up, get dressed, and head to the university. I mean, yeah, it's a visual novel, so yeah. I mean, there's some choices to direct what your character says occasionally, but yeah, it's just a visual novel. Once my lecture was over, I stretched out on a bench on campus. This was one of my regular spots. It was a quiet, insignificant spot on campus, and the lack of foot traffic made it all the more relaxing. I don't have work today, right? I made a routine to go over my schedule for the day whenever I had my free time, which was generally during my morning or afternoon break. Just to be sure, I checked my schedule on my phone. I was still being treated like a part-timer and would only come in when they needed extra help, like what happened yesterday. Let's see. Yeah, still chapter 1. I mean, in that it's a visual novel, sure. I don't think it's going to be as trippy. I wasn't scheduled for work today, which meant I was free until later this evening. This time my life was precious and I never get my 20s back again, so I needed to make good use of it. Go home and sleep? Honestly, he probably needs it. He's not been getting any sleep the last couple of days, but... And Frosty calling you out on that stuff. Hey, Meowty, it's good to see you there. I appreciate it. Thank you very much, dude. How are you doing this morning? I was worried about what Shihaya had brought up yesterday. There have been multiple times in the past when she had brought up things she had wanted to do on a whim. Everything always got hazy midway through, and I was sure this time would end up the same. I'm doing alright. I think. I don't know. Hey, no worries, DJ. Take care. Appreciate you stopping by. We're getting hungry, though. Hey, Cal! Appreciate you. I hope work's going well. Or so I assumed, but it might play out differently since the former estate was involved. Finished it. We are all done with Attack on Titan and Jakari. What's up, my dude? Good to see ya. Shihaya hasn't gone home yet, right?
Junya.
Junya? Just as I was about to stand up, Shihaya and Hanada showed up. They knew about my regular hangout spots and would occasionally meet up here. Not just yet, but I'm pretty close, and we have an ad break. So I don't even know if you can hear me right now, Jakari. Alright, we back. At least we should be, yeah? Well, there were lots of cases where they would message me on Shoko and ask to meet up too. I sat down and Shihaya joined me on the bench. Nada, meanwhile, remained standing. This bench wasn't especially large, but it wouldn't be impossible for all three of us to sit at once if we squinched a little more closely together. But Hanada wouldn't even try to sit, even if we made space for her. She had demonstrated as much right after she had enrolled in the university. The two of them were generally quite close, and relatively speaking, Hanada's speech and mannerisms towards Shihaya weren't so reserved, but it was in these moments that Hanada took pride as her attendant. It may have been an exaggeration to put it that way, but it just showed how much she respected Shihaya.
あのね。
Oh, which ones? So, listen. Despite being seated next to each other, it sounded like Chihaya was having more trouble breaking the ice than
昨日
usual.
の女の子のこと
Did you learn anything about that girl from
何か分
yesterday?
かった？
Now it makes sense. That's what she came here to ask? Of course she would be curious, especially considering what the girl had shouted right in front of us. Not a thing. Neither Misora nor Dad had a clue either.
そう
I see.
ね
Hey,
ジュニ
Jinya.
ア
Are you alright?
大丈夫？
I see. That's what they were really here for. Those were old friends for you. We were close enough that they could tell that I was thinking about when the girl showed up at Suigendo yesterday. I'm fine, thank you. Takumi Baiju, Ria Thesli, Furina, and Arlecchino and Wanderer. Yeah. I don't even know entirely what they're striking about. I know something about AI, but I assume there's more to it than just that, unless it is just that. If it is just that, then yeah, 100%. Like, but companies trying to replace voice actors with fucking AI. More importantly, I should ask you two to be sure, do either of you know anything about that girl? Chihaya nodded to my somewhat forced change of subject. No, I don't believe I've ever seen her before. Hinata said she doesn't recall her either. I figured.
一体どういうつもりなので
I
しょ
wonder what her
う。
deal was.
非常識に
There
も
are
程
limits
が
to
あり
how
ます。
senseless a person can be. Whoa, Hinata's voice is crazy scary. She sounded exceptionally cranky.
あの子はすごく思い
That
詰め
girl
た
seemed
感じだ
awfully
ったし、
obsessed. Perhaps we should try to talk to her
放っておく
again.
のは良くないんじゃない？
That's great in theory, but we have no idea who she is or where she came from.
あの様子ではまた水源洞に押しかけてくるのではないですか？
Given how she acted, who's to say she won't drop by Sugendo again? Yeah, most likely. We should expect it.
あの子、純也さんに思うところがあるよ
That
うで
girl
す
seemed
か
to
ら
have some
ね。
grudge against you, Junya-san.
言葉でも十分に
Everything
非
she said
常
was
識ですが、
incredibly rude, but how she
行
acts
動
is
に
more of
移
a
されては
problem.
困ります。
There's no guarantee that
千早
Chihaya-sama
様にも
wouldn't come to
危害
harm.
が及ばないとは限りません。
Okay, now it made sense why she looked so upset. Hinata was wary of that girl.
そこまでするとは思わないけど。
I doubt she'd do anything that extreme. Hey, Kalira!
あのままじゃなんだか心配だわ。
We should not leave her like that, though. But yeah, Jagari, I agree. Like I said, if that's all it's about, for sure. Voice actors deserve to get paid for their work, 100%.
でも確かに何もわか
It
ら
is
ない
true,
相手なんだ
however,
から。
there's little to be done about an
Pero
adversary you know
Gio
nothing about. Yeah. The next time she comes to Sugendo, we should at least get a name out of her.
千早様、そろそろ本題を。
Chihaya-sama, we...
そうだった。
We should get to our main point. Oh, that's right. There wasn't much else we could say about that girl. Ooga booga. Yeah, what's up, Seraphim? How you doing? Hinata's prompting, Chihaya clapped her hands together to change the mood, and...
昨日の話の続きし
You
て
might
も
have
い
to
い？
pick back up our conversation from yesterday. We weren't in a talkative mood after the girl had left, so Chihaya and Hinata had left. Sure, I don't have work today either.
よかった。
Glad to hear it. Chihaya was delighted and grabbed my right
なら
wrist.
行きましょ
Let's go then. Huh? To where?
う。もちろんおじい
Grandfather's
様の
house,
家
of
よ。
course. I have a car ready
車は
for
用意
us.
してあるから。
Chihaya kept a firm grip around my wrist as she rose to her feet and walked off, but not without Hinata trailing close behind. I really wasn't gonna run away, even if she didn't deliberately grab me by the hand.
戻っていいわ。歩いて
You
帰
may
るから
go. I'm gonna walk home. Chihaya said as much to the Hojo family's personal chauffeur who had brought us to from the university to near the old estate, and the driver silently nodded and departed. The cars sure are great. I'm gonna catch a ride in the mornings too. Jay and Hana were driven to school as a matter of household policy. In that aspect, she was the definition of a high-class girl.
ダメです。
You
千早
can't.
様に
That
変
would
な
be a
噂が
problem
立っ
if
てしま
anyone
う
were
と
to
困りますか
start a
ら。
rumor about Chihaya-sama. I guess that also applied to the attendant she had with her who interjected without a moment's delay.
私は気にしないけど、
I
お
wouldn't
父様
mind,
が
but
ね。
father's a different story. Chihaya forced a smile, then walked on ahead of us.
こっちよ。
This way! We were currently walking a bit north of Suigendo, in an area that had been lined with houses for ages, near Matoi Station. The Hojo family had lived in these houses for generations, but Chihaya's mother had a home with better access to transportation built around the time she got married. Also, a wild cadabra has appeared for the event quest. This was the old Hojo estate. This takes me back.
そうね。
It does. The three of us played here often when we were children.
3人で。
中へ入りましょう。
Let's
ジュ
go
ニアさん
inside, Jinya-san. Sure. I did as Hinata prompted, stood in front of the gate, and grabbed the handle. Upon closer inspection, it appeared to be locked and donned a sizable keyhole in the doorway. Chihaya, give me the key.
ないわ。
There is none. Huh?
鍵はないの。
There is no key. What did she mean?
おじい様が亡くなられた後、
For administrative
管理の
purposes,
た
we
めに
collected all
住
the
宅で
keys
使われ
used
て
at
い
the
る
old
鍵を
estate
回収
after
したので
grandfather
すが、
passed away, but the
こ
key to
の
the
門
front
の
gate was
鍵
never
は
found.
どこにも見つからなかったのです。今後、旧宅を
We'll
頻
need to
繁
have a
に
new
利
key
用す
made
る
if
の
we
であ
intend
れ
to
ば、
visit the estate more
鍵を
often
新
going
調する必要
forward.
があります。
そうね。
That's
お
true.
父様と相談し
I'll
な
have
き
to
ゃ。
talk with father about it. She could have had the discussion any time. It didn't really help our current predicament. How do we get in? Is there a back entrance or something?
登って中から開ければいいのよ。
We could just climb up and open it from the inside. She sounded nonchalant about it, but the gate was fairly tall. I'm the one climbing it, aren't I? Of course you are. Fine. All I got was a smile and a glare in return, suggesting that neither were going to object. Well, I should have expected as much. After setting aside my bag and jacket, I reached up and pulled myself up and over the top of the fence.
すごい。さすが純也ね。
Wow, impressive, Jinya! Who do you think made me do this? Based on the look she was giving me, Chihaya didn't seem to understand what I was implying. Oh, well, I hadn't expected a response in the first place. Huh? I leapt to the ground, then opened the gate from the inside. Chihaya slipped her way in once it was pushed partially ajar.
さあ行きましょう。
Alright,
玄関
let's
の
go.
鍵は持ってるの。
I have a key to the front entrance. Chihaya ran on ahead without issuing a single word of thanks.
ありがとうございます、純也さん。
Thank you very much, Jinya-san.
千早様も
I'm
そ
sure
う
Chihaya
思ってい
feels
る
the
はず
same
です。
way. It's fine. It just means we're close enough that we don't have to worry about stuff like that.
それはそうで
That's
すが、
certainly possible. We haven't been here in a while, and she's feeling impatient. Come on, let's head inside.
そうですね。
A good
参りま
idea.
しょう。
Let's. The property was built in an early Meiji era and very much felt like an estate. The same can be said for the house Chihaya and Hinata were currently living in, but this place looked like an entirely different world to a commoner like me. It doesn't really seem like it's vacant, though. I was expecting more dust or something.
電気も水道も止め
The
ていない
electricity
そう
and
で
water
す。
should still be on. As she spoke it out, I flipped the light switch by the door.
あら
Oh?
おかしいです。
That's
つきません
strange.
ね。
It's not
電
working.
気は来ているはず
The
なのですが
electricity。should still be in service. She looked a few more times, but there was no response. Could this be? I bet the breaker is tripped. The place is normally unoccupied, so I'm sure it's only turned on for cleaning.
ああ、そういうこと
Ah,
で
you
すか
think。so?
今日はこのままでもいいんじゃない
We don't need to worry about that right
昼間
now.
のうちに歩き
Especially
回
if
る
we
く
just
らい
walk
なら
around in the
問
daytime.
題なさ。
千早様がよろしい
So
ので
long
し
as
た
you're
ら。
fine with that, Chihaya-san? Sama? Rather? Chihaya surveyed the room with a nostalgic look in her eyes, then started the trek up the staircase to the second
お
floor.
じい様が亡くなってから
Father never looked especially happy about the idea, so I haven't come here
お
since
父様
grandfather
が
has
いい
passed
顔
away.
しなかった。ぐるっと見て回って
Do you
も
mind
い
if I
い？
take a look around? Go for it.
ここ
This is it. This is where we used to run around and play together. We sure did. Unlike Chihaya and Hinata, it had been well over 15 years since I stepped foot onto this estate. Although my recollection was fuzzy, memories of those days were flooding back to me. I remember slipping and nearly falling down the stairs a lot.
そうそう
Oh yes! That takes me back.
でしょ
Doesn't it? I
No,
can't
no,
believe
no,
Father wants to
お父様は
demolish it.
取り壊すっていうの。
Huh? That unsettling word practically came out of nowhere. All I could do was turn towards Chihaya in astonishment. Demolish? Aren't you gonna renovate?
ごめんなさい。
I'm sorry.
話が前
I
後しちゃっ
didn't
た。
explain the situation correctly.
旧宅の管理が決まって
Remember
な
when
か
I
ったっ
said he
て
hadn't
こと
decided
は
how
言
to
った
manage
よ
the
ね。
property? My father said it might just be better to tear the place down.
もういっそ処分してしまおう。
更地にして懇意にしている不
He'd
動
rather
産
turn
屋
it
に
into a
売
vacant
却
lot
す
and
るそうです。
let a realtor he's friendly with sell it off. It's gonna be sold. Unfortunately, I'm sure he can't afford to leave this place unoccupied. It takes a lot of time and effort to keep an unused home clean, so I'd imagine it's out of his hands. The maintenance cost in a place like this would surely be nothing to sneeze at. That was my thought process behind it, but Chihaya and Hinata simply glared back at me.
純也ひどい。かけ
You're
がえの
horrible,
ない思い出
Junya!
を共
And here
有
I
する
thought you were a
仲
friend
間
I
だと
shared
思ってたの
irreplaceable
に。
memories with.
人間としてどうかと思います
I question
純
you
也
as
さ
a
ん。
human being, Junya-san. I'm sorry? Had I said something that terrible?
私は嫌。
I don't like it.
ここに
I
は
have
た
tons
く
of
さんの
memories here
思
with
い出がある
grandfather
の
and。grandmother.
それに、
And
ひ
also
な
with
たと
the both of
純
you.
也とのね。だから、
That's why I want to save this
私は
house.
この家を残したい。
Hinata unlocked and pushed open one of the doors, revealing a room packed with rows of bookcases. This library was yet another place we had often played hide and seek together. It's more confined than I thought. It felt more like we were in a forest back in the old days.
背が伸びて体も大きく
We've
なり
grown
まし
up
た
and
しね。
matured since then. That's true. There was a tiny desk over near the window. Grandfather Hojo used to sit here, right?
おじい様はこの書斎が好きだったか
Grandfather
ら。
loved this study. This was
書
always
類
where
仕
he
事
did
は
his
いつも
paperwork.
ここで。
今思うと私たちが遊ぶ姿を見て
When I think back on it
楽しん
now,
でいたのかもしれ
perhaps
な
he
いです
enjoyed
ね。
watching us play.
そうね。
Maybe.
そうだっ
It
たら
would make me
嬉しいな。
happy if he did. Chihaya smiled and looked around the room. Dust particles danced through the air as she walked around the room as if Chihaya were searching for her old self.
満足した。出ましょう。
I'm satisfied. Let's go. Congrats on the cadaver, everyone. Nice. Hinata slid open the shutters and light filtered into a room. We exited our grandfather's study and found ourselves in a nearby sitting room. It was a spacious Japanese-style room that looked like it could fit any number of people. Hanging scrolls still yet adorned the elevated alcoves along with the music box that had been left on the shelves. A large grandfather clock had taken up residence on the pillar near the verandas for as long as I can remember, but it no longer displayed the correct time. The clock stopped.
もともと動きません。
It never did work. It didn't.
ゼンマイ回しがないのは
We didn't have a key to wind it, so it was left up for decoration. As she spoke, Chihaya gently ran her finger along the clock's
そうい
exterior.
えばね。
That reminds me of something. Chihaya clapped her hands together, almost like she remembered something important.
私にとって一番の思い出はここに住んでいた頃のことなの。
My greatest memory of all is from when I lived here. You lived here? That was news to me. Really? I looked over at Hinata, the local Chihaya expert. However, Hinata simply shook her head.
私がお会いするより前の話ですよね。
This is from before I met you, I assume? If I recall correctly, Hinata and Shia met around the time they were in kindergarten.
ええ
Yes, it was
5歳
around
の頃
the
の
time when I was 5 years
1年
old.
間くらいまその頃
Of
のこと
course, I
は
don't remember
ほとん
much
ど
of that
覚え
point
て
of
い
my
ないんだ
life.
けど
Shia stuck her tongue out briefly and smiled.
でもとても楽しかったの
It was so much fun, I do remember that
それ
much.
だけは家がなくなったら
If I lose this
あ
house,
の
those
思い出が
memories will be
失わ
lost
れて
with
し
it.
まう
I just have a feeling.
そんな気がして
Memories you couldn't recall, huh?
それでお父様にお願い
That's
し
why I
た
made the
の
request to father.
旧宅を
I'll
お店
renovate
に
the
リノ
older
ベー
estate
ショ
and
ン
turn
す
it
るって
into a shop. So why a shop?
人が集まる場所になるし
There's no need to demolish it if people could congregate here and it creates value, right?
そしたら
Father
卒業
also
まで
said I
は
could
私
do
が
whatever I
自由
wanted
にしてい
until
いって言
graduation.
ってもら
Isn't
えた
that
の
amazing?
すごいでしょ
I wasn't sure how to respond to Chihaya's exuberance, and Do you think Chihaya's dad will come along with something like that, Hinata?
おそらく千
I
早
highly
様の
suspect
言葉
he
を
didn't
本
take
気には
anything
し
of
て
what
いないの
Chihaya
で
said
しょう
seriously. Oh yeah, I can see that.
二人ともひどい
You're both horrible.
私は
I'm
本気なんだ
perfectly
から
serious.
ここにちっちゃ
I'll
く
make
て
a
素
lovely
敵
little
なお
shop
店
here.
を作るの
Do you want some help getting started?
え
Yes, would you
お願い
mind
して
helping?
もいい
Would you mind, Jinya?
純也
I guess. Why not? Sure, this is normal for you after all.
嬉しい
Happy to hear it. I assume you're gonna help too, Hinata.
もちろんです
Of course. Yeah, this is to be expected. What kind of shop were you thinking of renovating this place into?
それは
Well,
これから決めるの
I haven't decided yet. This too was the same old, same old. We took a general walk around the house and then called it quits for the day. Chihaya had decided what kind of shop she wanted it to be before we could do anything. Ah, right. This can only be locked up from the inside. We could just leave this open. Yeah, I get it. Are they seriously gonna have to climb over this gate to lock it and unlock it every time we came here? There's no way, right? After leaving the estate, the three of us split up in front of the Matoi station. It was late by the time I made it back to my place on foot. Suigendo left its front entrance open during business hours, so that meant Misora, or Dad if he came back, was likely tending the store. Someone was standing in the entryway. I could only make out their silhouette due to the lack of light, but it appeared to be a small child. That's not Misora? I continued to strain my eyes, but the figure disappeared into the building. Is it that girl? Yep. Must be the same girl from yesterday. Nobody was in the office. If Misora had skipped out on watching the store, then she was going to get an earful from me later. Once she stepped inside, her figure went rigid. The fist clenched at her side was trembling ever so slightly. She gawked restlessly at her surroundings and must have been too overwhelmed to have noticed my presence. Tia! The girl instantly planted herself on the ground the moment she heard my voice, covered her head with both hands, and squeezed her eyes shut. Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. You're the girl who came by yesterday, right? As soon as the girl realized I was the one who had spoken to her, she jumped emphatically back to her feet. It's not my fault, okay? Uh-huh. Although her face flushed bright red, she pointed a glare in my direction. It's because I thought nobody was here! You're careless! It's not my fault! Tears began to brim in the corners of her lashes, almost as if I had done something horrible to her. Oh, I get it now. She likely thought I was accusing her of trespassing. And as the girl said, there was nobody in the office. Darn it, Misora. It wasn't uncommon for the older residents from the neighborhood association to drop by to chat, so it wasn't a big deal, but still. Then the girl tried to slip by me and make a break for it. Wait. I reached out on a reflex and grabbed the girl's arm over her jacket. I released her arm, but even through her jacket it felt incredibly slender. It was so thin I briefly wondered if I might break it.
何
What? I wasn't sure how to respond. There was plenty I wanted to ask, of course, like why had she come here, who she was, what relationship she had with Takaya. What did she mean by what she said before? However, I didn't think now was the right time to ask any of those questions. This office is open to the public, so I don't care if you come in without asking permission. Which roughly translated to you haven't done anything wrong, so you don't need to run away. I want to talk to you more. You, the person who knew about Takaya, the one who interacted with Takaya face to face, who yelled at me and had been living rent-free in my head since we met.
幼児
Careless. I guess it would make me happier if you would call us dependable. A wild Bruxish has appeared. Catch that Pokemon. It's proof that we trust our neighbors, too. Judging by the look on her face, she probably thought to herself, what is this guy talking about? I frantically searched for a proper segue to avoid getting discouraged. Hey, would you mind telling me your name?
なんで
Why? Well, I thought using your name might help me avoid spooking you in the future.
何それ
What does that even mean? It appeared I somehow crossed the line. I didn't think it was a bad idea to ask for her name, though.
あずさ
Asusa. Huh?
さとみあずさ
Asusa Satomi. She replied with a pointed glare. Asusa Satomi. Unsurprisingly, her name didn't ring a bell. I'm Jinya. Jinya Mizumoto. She didn't reply. I hadn't expected her to be honest and tell me her name. Who was this girl? It was taking a while, but I was one step closer to learning the truth.
ただいま今の子誰
I'm back! Who's she? What happened to you watching this door?
父さん帰ってたから
Dad called for
声
me
か
when
け
he
て
got
出
home.
かけたし
Huh? Dad called for me when he got home, so I went to see him. And then... Oh, jeez. I heard our father snoring coming from the back room.
寝てる
He's asleep? Did you leave after he called you?
いやどう
Oh,
だかな
you couldn't really say. I'm lecturing you both when he wakes up.
なんで
Why?
Mizumoto Junya
Chunya Mizumoto. Days of Change.
Nekoちゃんかわいいいいでちゅね
There, we're finally on chapter 2. I've been curious, because like I said, I can only play through chapter 4, because this is a visual novel, and they don't want me to spoil the entire game. Because they would like, people to go pick it up themselves if they're interested in the story. Which is perfectly sensible. And I respect that, but yeah, that's why I keep saving, so I make sure what chapter we're on. Oh, what a cute cat! How many times are you gonna get held up by cats? Come on, let's go.
待ってよ
Oh, wait!
Neko-chan,
Kitty
bye,
cat,
Chi.
bye-bye! I decided to walk Misora to school Monday morning on my way to university. Misora and Aina-chan would normally go together, but it was apparently her turn for morning classroom duties.
ジュン兄さんなん
Sure, have
で
an
また
awful
難しい
serious
顔
look on
し
your
て
face, Chun-Li.
Tomo-chan,
Are you that desperate for attention? Of course not.
またそんなこと言って顔
So
に
you
書いて
say,
や
but
る
it's written all over your face.
それも私に任せておいてよどう
I
せ
think
あ
I
の
know
ちっ
what's
ちゃい
up.
子の
You're
こと
thinking
でし
about
ょ
that girl that came by again, right? Well, yeah, but
演歌したら秒で
once
友
I
達に
bump
なって
into
みる
her,
か
she'll
ら
be my friend in no time.
事情
I'll get
聞
a
いとく
decent
から
right then. I see. If you're fine with that, then I'd appreciate it. Friends in no time, huh? It was terrifying to know that Misora was completely serious. She was, if nothing else, reliable in situations like these.
いやー素直な順にマジ可愛いなめっちゃラブチハグしちゃ
And I'm obsessed with how honest you're being. I could just hug you. Hey, would you get off me? We're out in public.
兄弟のスキンシップだよ見せ
This
て
is
や
physical
ぜ
intimacy between
でも
siblings. Let's make a show of it. I'm obsessed with this. That's weird. Knock it off already.
本当に怒られた
Are they mad at me? Sora left away, seemingly stalled by the car idling on the shoulder of a nearby street. That's just bad timing. As the car, a familiar face appeared in the back seat.
やあ、純也くん。みそらちゃんも。
Hey, Junya-kun and Misora-chan. Kido-san. This was Shigeto Kido-san. He was a secretary to Tadayusa Hojo, Chihaya's father and a member of parliament. Not only that, he's also Chihaya's fiancé.
今、水源堂に伺うところだったんだ。
I was on my way to Suigendo. Is it a job? My old man, I mean, the president isn't currently...
いや、純也くんと話したくて、
No,
ね。
I actually wanted to talk
す
to
れ
you,
違いになら
Junya-kun.
なくてよかっ
I'm
た。
glad we didn't miss each other.
数
Do you
分
have a
い
few
いかな
minutes to spare? Me?
オキピでーす終わるまで待ってるのでどうぞ
Hey, okay with me? I'll wait till you're done, so go ahead. Misora smiled sweetly at Kido-san, then made a mad dash to find the cat from earlier. That girl, I swear.
すまないね。すぐ済むから。
Sorry for this. I'll make it quick. Kido-san said while he glanced at his expensive-looking watch. I'd imagine secretaries billed by the minute, just like statesmen. He had been acquainted with Suigendo since the Hojo family's predecessor, and often hired us for odd jobs that were too small for the bigger companies. Which is why I assumed he wanted to speak with my old man.
千早さんが君にわが
I
まま
heard
を言っ
Chihaya
てる
made
と聞いて
several
ね。
unreasonable requests. Oh, is he talking about the estate renovations? Unreasonable requests? Oh, you mean the renovations? Kido-san gave me a small, troubled smile in return.
大学卒業するまでは千早さんを好
Chihaya's
きに
father
させ
was
たいと
fine
先
with
生
her
もおっ
doing
しゃって
whatever
い
she
るし、
wants until she graduates
僕も正
university,
式に
but
籍を入れるまで
they'll
は
be getting married
そう
soon
したいと
after.
思ってる。純也君には迷
I'm
惑をかけ
afraid
るかもし
following
れな
along
い
with
け
her
ど、
whims may cause problems for you,
千早さんを
Junya-kun,
頼むよ。
but please try to humor her. Please, don't worry about it. She's always been like this, so it's fine.
昔からか。
Oh, we got an ad break
まあ
again.
そう言ってもらえると助かるよ。
I didn't even notice. God dang it. uh... Just 10 more seconds. Always, huh? Well, it's reassuring to hear you say that.
僕はあまり千
Chihaya-san
早さ
doesn't
んに
seem
頼
to
りにさ
rely
れ
on
てい
me
ない
very
ようで
much.
ね。
That's not...
いや、いいんだ。
Oh, it's
朝の
fine.
忙しい時に悪
Anyway,
か
I'm
ったね。
sorry to have bothered you with
Sorry,
this
Jack.
so early in the morning. Talk to you later. Yes, see you later.
あの人私
I
好
don't
きじゃ
like
ない
that
な
guy. We saw her come back at some point. She shot a less than pleased expression in the direction of Kido-san's vehicle. Hey, he's a client.
だってあの
But that
人
guy's
の
gonna
ちい
take
ちゃんを
Chi-chan
取っちゃうんでし
away.
ょ順に
Are you really
本当に
okay
オ
with
ケピな
that?
の
With what?
ちいちゃんがあの人と結婚して
With the two of them getting married? It's not our place to interfere. It's not our place to say whether it's a good or bad thing. Chihaya and Kido-san's marriage had been decided 5 or 6 years ago at this point. Even Chihaya understood the role she was meant to fulfill as a member of the Hojo family. I was just her childhood friend. It wouldn't be right for me to interject in that part of Chihaya's life. However, Misora seemed exceptionally dissatisfied with that reply and pursed her lips.
そうよね
Not our place, huh? This was Chihaya-san's decision, after all. You're so
順には順にだ
cute,
ね
Jinny.
そ
You
う
haven't
いう
changed
と
a
こ全
bit.
然変わってないや
What's that supposed to mean?
ラブチってこと
Just wasting my love session. Come on, let's go. Sure. This whole love cess and love session thing is pure nonsense to me. The way Misora got love cessed about things was about as versatile as someone saying, "Oh my gosh," so I couldn't make sense of it. Yeah, your sister's weird. Now that my lectures were over, it was time to go home. I took a seat at my usual spot in the plaza and checked the contents of my wallet. Will this last until the end of the month? The Mizumoto household had a system in which Misora and I were given a set amount of spending money on the first of each month. I was also paid daily wage whenever I worked at Suigendo. Although I had made some income from hauling off those used books the other day, it wasn't quite enough. If I were to buy a book I wanted, it would put me just barely over budget. A lack of disposable income wasn't a big deal, as I didn't have many friends, nor any real hobbies to speak of. What do you mean you didn't have any real hobbies? You read books, that's a hobby. I wonder if I can squeeze in a big job before the month ends. Oh, whatever. I better just head home and buy that another time. But then, just as I was about to stand up, something scraggly pushed into my back. Huh?
動かないで
Don't move and don't get up, just stay seated.
座ったままがいいのよ
A woman spoke directly into my ear, and I couldn't help but notice the unusual tone of her voice. Hold up, what was all this about?
動かないで
I said don't move. The woman raised her voice and moved something hard against my back. Eat! Was she pointing that, an item barred by Japanese law, straight at my back? Why? Listen, I think you may have the wrong guy.
あなたは水源堂の水本純
You're
也
Junya Mizumoto from
違います
Suigendo, right? She didn't have the wrong person. That being the case, I genuinely no clue what was going on. Why was I being targeted? Had I provoked the wrath of some dangerous customer I work at Suigendo? It was hard to imagine since the majority of Suigendo's jobs were laid back, peaceful, and overall harmless. While my brain was short-circuiting, the increasingly impatient woman behind me repeated her question.
水源堂の水本
You're
純也
Junya Mizumoto from Suigendo.
Atteru yo
I'm
ne?
right, aren't I? Yeah, that's me. And then...
よかったよかった
Ah, thank goodness. Huh? Whatever I had against my back immediately vanished. I turned around to find a girl with short hair behind me.
水本純也さん人違い
Junya
だったらどうしよ
Mizumoto-san,
う
I
か
didn't
心
know what I
配
was
だ
gonna
った
do if I
よ
had the wrong person. Something hard fell near my feet, and I discovered a stainless steel bottle on the ground. Was that what had been pressed against my back this whole time?
はじめましてうちファン純也言います
Nice to meet you. I'm Chen Yu Huang.
ようやく会えた
I finally
あなた
found
を
you. I've been
探してい
looking
た
for
のよ
you. But why though? I decided to hear her out when she took a seat beside me. It became clear that she had come to me for help, and everything up until now had been one big practical joke. She had apparently heard from the student affairs office that I was from Suigendo. You want to hire our general store for a job? Huang.
ファン純也純也って呼
Shinyu
んでよ
Huang. Call me Shinyu. Then, Shinyu-san, did you tell me what all that was about earlier?
銃とか刃物とか物騒なものだと思ったです
Did you think of something dangerous, like a gun or a knife?
初対面で衝撃を与え
Looks
印
like my
象を
great
つけ
father's advice to leave a
おじ
lasting
い様
first
の教
impression
え
works.
大成功ね
I don't think that's what he meant. I certainly was surprised. Jinya's-san was apparently a short-term exchange student from China, although we were in the same school year, we didn't have any classes in common. Our grandfather had built his fortune as a merchant, which meant she came from a so-called affluent family. So, what kind of job is it?
オッケーオッケー早速商談
Okay,
ね
okay, getting right down to
う
business.
ち日本の
I
古
have an
民家に
interest in
興味がある
traditional
のよ
Japanese houses. I'm studying
留学
folklore
も
studies,
民
actually.
族学の勉強のためなのね
Wow. so that's why she'd come to a Japanese university. I could also understand why she had deliberately chosen Sumisora on top of that. We had a relatively high concentration of older traditional buildings around, which made for decent tourist attractions.
どうしたのよね。そんなびっくりし
What's
た
the
ような
matter?
顔してるよ。
You look surprised. Oh, well, I'm impressed you're studying something like that considering we're the same age. Hmm?
何を
What
言
are
っ
you
てるんです
talking about? Don't people
大学に通う
attend
のは
university
学び
because
た
they
いことが
have
あ
to
るからだ
study?
よ。
I suppose so. That kind of hurts to hear.
あと、多分同じ年じゃない
Also,
よ。
we play at the same
う
age.
ちの方が
I'm
一
one
つ
year
お
your
姉さんだ
senior.
ね。
Huh? Really?
うち21歳よ。
I'm 21
故
and I
郷の
transferred
大
here
学
from
か
the
らこっち
university
に
in my
再入学してる
hometown.
からね。
I was 20, so she was right. She was a year older than me.
でも気にすることないない。
But
う
don't
ちは
worry
気
about
にし
it.
ないから
I
ね。
don't care about it either. Sounds good. Oh, sorry, I got us off topic. So,
講義以外でも、古
I
民
want
家
to
の
do
フィール
field
ド
work
ワ
on
ーク
old
をした
style
いのよ
houses,
ね。
even outside of lectures. Meaning you want to go tour them in person.
そう。
Yes,
スミソラ、歴史
Sumisora
ある町。
is a historical city. It has lots of lovely
素敵な
traditional houses. Junior-san took a map out of her bag and spread it out on the bench between us. It was a map of Sumisora. Specifically, it was filled with a good deal of X's and red ink. She pulled out her phone to display another map of Sumisora. Compared to the first, the digital version was marked with even more locations. What do all these marks mean?
古民家。これ
Traditional
全部
houses.
全
I want to go around and see every last one of them.
写真に撮って、
I want
で
to
きれ
take
ば住んで
photos
る人
and,
に
if
お
possible,
話を
speak to
伺い
people
た
who
い
live
の
in
よ。
them. All the pieces were starting to come together. It would amount to field work if she was going to such lengths.
でも、
But... Shina-san smiled shyly.
うち、地図が読むのが苦手なのよね。
I'm not great at reading
Kino mo
maps.
mayotte,
I got
ikken
lost
mo
and couldn't
megureratta
find a single
desu.
house yesterday.
あと、道が
The roads
細
are
かす
also
ぎ
so
て
small
よく
that I
わ
can't
から
make them
ない
out
の
very
よ。
well. Too small? You mean there are too many, right?
そうなのよ。
Yeah,
うちの
that.
実家、
It
隣
takes
の
about
家
an
ま
hour
で
to
歩
get
い
to
て
my
1時
next
間
door
ある
neighbor
の
on foot. Really? It wasn't surprising she got so mixed up when it was based on such an incredible scale. That kind of thing could happen, though.
なので、道案内してくれる
Which
人
is
を
why I've
探
been
して
looking
た
for
のよ
somebody
ね
who。could help me.
なんでも屋さんは、
Would
古
your
民家の
general
道
store be
案
willing to show me
内し
around
てく
these
れま
old
す
style houses? Junior-san leaned forward and gazed at me pleadingly, but I couldn't help but rear back in a fluster. Not to worry, Sugendo acts as tour guides all the time. Or rather, I enjoyed playing the occasional tour guide since I wasn't qualified to perform certain repair jobs nor work full-time like Jin-san.
ありがとうです。それで、おいくらです？
Thank you. So how much will it cost? Oh, she want to talk about the cost now? That was surprisingly level-headed of her, but it would help steer the conversation along, you know? Let's see. The hourly and daily rates differ. Based on my experience, it would be simpler to write down Sugendo's cost rather than explain things orally. I retrieved a notebook from my backpack and wrote out the relevant information. This is the hourly fee and a 100 yen upcharge during the holidays. Any and all necessary traveling costs are at the customer's expense.
うーん。
Shinya-san looked rather troubled when she looked at the total sum. Was it too expensive? It had Sugendo's margin baked into my hourly wage, so it may have been a bit rough for a university student to pay. I have to check with my dad, but I should be able to offer a slightly lower rate if you hire us for an extended period. I could also do it for free rather than through Suigendo if you're willing to work around my schedule when it's convenient for me.
それはダメ。
You can't do that! Shinyu-san, who had been frowning at the list of costs I had written down in my notebook, looked up at me
自分を
angrily.
安売りするのは美徳ではないよ。
Selling yourself
水
out
本さん
cheap.
はプロとして仕事をして、うちはその仕事に報酬を
Selling
払う。
yourself out for cheap
So
isn't
they
a
got the
virtue.
cheap
You're a
形.
professional, Mizumoto-san, and I intend to compensate you for that work. That's how it should be. So, sorry, I wasn't trying to offend you. I couldn't help but apologize since you berated me like that. The total cost is geared towards tourists, but I think it might be too expensive.
違うのよ。逆よ、
No,
逆。
it's the opposite, actually. It's too
安すぎなの
cheap.
よ。
Huh?
うち、この100
I
倍
was
くらい
expecting
で
it to be
考え
100
てたの
times
に。
higher. Is your shop
水本さんのお
exploiting you,
店、ブラッ
Mizumoto-san?
ク？
Are you working
最低
minimum
賃
wage?
金？
Are they paying you
ちゃんと
properly?
もらってるです。
100 times? No. Even 10 times more would be out of the question. If it were 100 times higher, a half-day tour guide would cover my entire monthly salary. While I was becoming increasingly flustered, Shinya-san remained nothing short of serious.
サービスには適切な対価が支
Services deserve
払われる
adequate
ものよ。
compensation, and these prices
この値段で
make
は
me
適
question
切
whether
な
or
サ
not
ー
I'll
ビスを受け
receive
られる
adequate
のか不安ね。
service. I guess that was another way of looking at it. Personally, I didn't mind if something was cheap. If anything, I'd be satisfied knowing I didn't spend a lot of money if it ended up being lackluster. Was this sort of mentality influenced by where she was from or how she was raised? If I had to guess, it was more likely the latter. Wait, I get it now. I thought as much when we first met, but this girl reminded me of Chihaya. I wonder why that was. It was crude of me to phrase it this way, but perhaps it was a characteristic of the wealthy. Compared to Chihaya, she was much more forward.
水本さん、
Mizumoto-san?
気を悪くしちゃった
Did
で
I
す。
offend you? Why?
急に黙っち
You
ゃ
were
った。
quiet all of a sudden. No, not at all. I was a bit impressed and realized how much confidence you have with your business partners.
信頼がある？
Confidence? What do
どう
you
いう意
mean?
味？
Well, I don't mean anything bad by it. Obviously, quality goods have the price tag to match, but it's not something I'm especially conscious of at work. I was being appropriately compensated for my work at Suigendo, and they should pay me for this as well. Although I had explained the fees to Shinya-san, I had only presented her with the fixed sum and had never considered why those values were established. However, this had become a bit problematic. How much work was Shinya-san expecting out of me? I couldn't afford to give a simple response. At a time like this, my old man would... How about this? Give us a 1-hour trial period, then you can decide whether to continue working with us or not. The price will remain as is, even if we took 10 times the fee, it won't mean we'll provide 10 times the service. If you don't like what you see, we'll only charge you for the hour of work provided. Her face softened when she heard my proposal.
いい提案だね。その
What a
最
great
初の1
idea!
時間はいつ？
When will this trial period start? Whenever you'd like. I can take the job like this without needing approval.
なら今からだね。
How about right now then? Huh? Right now?
いつでもいいって言ったよ。
You said anytime is fine. Do you have plans today? No, I don't.
イースン本意イースンチン。日本語では時は金なりです。
Or in English,
行きましょう。
time is money. Let's go. Yeah, not even gonna try. Shinya-san immediately sprung into action. In fact, she really didn't need to run. She sure knew how to take the initiative. If anything, she was an absolute ball of energy, another aspect in which she differed from Chihaya, hun.
水本さん、早く早く。
Mizumoto-san, hurry up! The way she waved her arms was almost childish. She must have been quite happy about this. She had come such a long way to Japan and was about to delve into something she loved so much that to her heart's content. I'm coming right now. The sun was beginning to set by the time we exited the private residence we had visited. I hadn't expected her to get so lost in conversation with the homeowner. Thank you very much. She expressed her gratitude to Saito-san, who had got to the trouble of coming out to see her off, and smiled cheerfully.
純ちゃん、お父さんによろしくね。
Jun-chan, say hello to your dad for me, won't you?
貴重なお話ありがとうございましたです。
Thank you for taking the time to talk with me today.
いいのよ。
Oh, you're
私こ
welcome.
そ
That was
昔
nice
話が
to
できて楽し
reminisce
か
on
った
old
わ。
times.
いつも
I
暇を持
always
っ
have
て
too
余
much time
し
on my
てる
hands.
の。
Please come visit
また
again.
来てちょうだい。
はいです。
Yes, I will.
それじゃあね。
See you some other time. The second the sliding door closed, Shinya leaned over and let out a roar. Shinya-san, what's the matter? Shinya! Huh?
あなたは最高のビジネスパートナーだよ。
You're the greatest business partner ever! About 2 hours prior, Jason and I made our way from the university towards some of the locations she had marked on her map. We took the Shika rail and got off at the Kaigan Koen station, and eventually found ourselves in a neighborhood lined with traditional Japanese houses. We passed by homes with huge courtyards and expansive enclosed fences on the way to our destination. It was indeed an imposing residence, however...
塀が高く
if
て
that's
建
not
物が
to
見
see
え
the
ないね。
actual structure,
これは想定外よ。
that's not really what I was expecting. She looked troubled as she held her phone in both hands. Can't you take pictures through the gaps in the fence?
それは盗
That's
撮
way
に
too
なるよね。
creepy. Yeah, I guess so.
水本さん、
Mizumoto,
Banzai
crime
no
is
dame yo.
wrong. I'm sorry. She got mad at me. Yeah, she was right. Well then, why don't we try and ask if we can take photos from the
う
inside?
ん、確かに。
True. It
撮
would be
るの
best
な
to
ら
introduce
まずは
ourselves
住
so
ん
we
でい
don't
る
learn
方
before
に
we
ご
start
挨
taking
拶が正
pictures.
しい。でも
But although she agreed with my suggestion, she looked rather uncomfortable and began to fidget in place. I hadn't expected this. I figured she would have said, "Let's hurry up and introduce ourselves then." And just then,
あらやっぱり純ち
oh,
ゃ
I
ん
was
よ
right.
ね
It's Jun-chan
なん
from
で
the
も屋
general
さん
store.
の
Someone I knew walked through the gate. Oh, do you live here, Saito-san?
お知り合いです。
Do you know them? An acquaintance from of my father's and a customer of Seguendo. I hadn't worked with him personally, but I recognized him from the times he came around to Seguendo with refreshments.
ああそういえば純ちゃんは来たことなかった
Ah,
わ
that reminds me.
ね
Is this your first time
お
here,
父さんに
Jun-chan?
はいつ
Your father
もお
helps me
世話
around
に
the
なって
estate
る
all the
のよ
time.
見ての
As
通
you can
り
see, this house is
古い
quite
家
old
で
and
し
the
ょ
plumbing gets clogged easily.
水回
Your
りが
father's
す
an
ぐ
absolute
詰まっちゃ
lifesaver
うの
whenever he
よ
comes by to fix it.
それで
So why are
今
you
日
here
は何の
today?
ご用かしら
Talk about lucky. I was showing her around the Simosera since she likes to look at old houses. I'm sorry to ask this, but would you mind if we took photos of the outside?
あらあらそうだっ
Oh,
たの
really? That's a
こ
little
ん
worse
な
for
ボ
wear
ロ
these
屋でよ
days,
け
but
れ
you're
ば
more than
お好
welcome
きにど
to.
うぞ
Really?
あり
Thank
が
you
とう
so
ございます
much.
です。
さあお
Here,
入り
come
な
on
さい
in.
はいです。
Yes, I will.
今日は本当に本
What
当
a
に
great
幸
day.
せ
You're
な日
even
だ
more
よ。
amazing person than
ジ
I
ュニアは
initially took
私
you
の
for,
見込んだ
Junya.
通りの男ね。
Junya-san continued to shower me with praise and had dropped the honorific entirely in her
いっ
excitement.
ぱいいっぱい写真も撮れたし、
Not only did I get to
お
take
話ま
photos,
で
I
聞
also
かせ
got
て
to
も
ask the
らえる
homeowner
なん
lots
て。
of questions. After getting a good look around the outside, Saito-san was gracious enough to give us a tour of the inside of the house. What's more, I keep saying she, but it's Mrs. I keep saying he, rather. Like, what? What's more, she shared the history of the house over tea cakes. All I did was listen quietly to Saito-san's story, but I found Shinyu-san's enthusiastic nodding and note-taking to be nothing short of heartwarming, which is why we ended up staying out this late.
全部ジュニアのおかげだよ。
This is all thanks to you, Junya. Well, we just happened to run into one of my father's acquaintances. I didn't do anything special.
そんなことないよ。
That's not true.
これ
This
は
could
日
only
々の
happen
地
because
域
of
ぐ
the
るみの
relationship you
交
have
流の
fostered
芽
over
吹
the
きな
years with the
のよ。
locals.
長年にわたる住民間ネットワーク形成の成
What are you talking about? I know I thought about what she just said.
果。つまり、ジュニアとジュニアの
Basically,
お父様が
you and your father
ス
have
ミソラの
established
人た
crucial
ちと
relationships
大事
that
に
gain
信
mutual
頼
trust
関
with the
係
people
を
in
築いてきた
Sumisora.
という。そうでなければ、
Why else would someone
面識があるから
to
って
randomly bring a
突
stranger,
然外
a
国の
strange
人間
foreigner
を
into the
連れて
home
きた
because
人
they,
を
you
家
happen
の
to be
中に迎え入
acquainted?
れたりはしないよ。ジュニアが信頼され
You're
ていて、
trustworthy and they
そ
trusted
の
me
おか
by
げで
extension. That's all there
私
is
も
to
信
it.
頼してもらえた。私一人では
I
な
never
か
would have
な
made
か
it this
こうは
far
い
on
か
my
ないよ。
own. Ah.
確かに
True, we must learn our
撮るのなら
homeowner before we start
ま
taking
ずは
pictures.
で
But
も
was that why Chinya-san hesitated? I hadn't realized it, but maybe that's just the kind of person she was. I should try to be more conscientious.
ジュニアの仕事には十分に満足で
I was
す。
very impressed with your work and would like for you to continue helping me. Is that
いいで
alright?
すか？
Oh yeah, that had been our deal. Of course. Getting my hands on some extra cash before Golden Week would honestly be a huge help for me as well.
じゃあスケジュールはどうするです？
How should we schedule this? Good question. If you give me a general idea of what you'd like to get out of this job before the weekend, then we can work from there.
何を言ってるですか、ジュニア。
What are you talking about, Junya? What do you mean, what?
週末なんて待ってられ
I
ない
can't
で。
wait until the
明
weekend.
日からスター
We're
トだ
getting
よ。
started tomorrow. Hold up. We're jumping right into this? Tomorrow? I need to check my
ジ
calendar
ュニア
first.
人気者？
I didn't
なら
realize you
今
were
す
so
ぐ確
popular,
認で。
Junya. Check your
ジ
schedule
ュニア
right
の時
now.
間を
Otherwise,
う
I
ちが
call
キープ
dibs
だ
on
キー
all
プ
your free time. Wow, all of it, huh? Her incredibly forward personality was certainly keeping me on my toes, but I guess it was fine. Sure, there's a cafe I like to hang out nearby. Why don't we talk there?
オッケーオッケー。
Okay,
何というお
okay.
店？
What cafe is it? Catherine Full Body is visual novel. I think I have that game in my library, actually. What's up, Grandson? How you doing? Oh, I have Catherine Classic, but I assume that's the game you're talking about. Unless there's another version of it or a new one. Yeah. It has an odd name. It's called Yukuru. I hope you like it too, Chinya-san.
楽しみですね。
I'm looking forward to it. Also, you don't need to be so formal. You can just call me Chinyu.
チュンユーと呼んでほしいね。
We're dropping on a reference already? It seemed Chinya's-san wasn't the type to mess around. What's going on? I didn't get any weird feelings about Chinya's-san, nor did I have any problem with her setting up such a fast pace for this relationship. Got it. Let's go, Chinyu.
はいです。
Yes, alright. This is Yukuru, one of Suigendo's valued clients. An unidentified ghost Pokemon's appeared. Catch that Pokemon. The cafe was a short walk from Ashikajima Station and served as a popular cafe to local surfers.
うちのマンション近くにこんなお店あったのね。
There's a cafe like this in my apartment? I had no idea. Oh, you live nearby?
そうです。まだ
Yeah,
引っ越し
I
て
only
きた
moved
ば
here
かりで、
recently, so I
こ
don't
の
know
周
the
りも
area
よ
very
く
well
分かって
yet.
ないけどね。もっと歩き回
I'll
って
pop
お
around
店
some
を
more
開
and check out
拓
the
しないと。
shops. You'll become more familiar with the area in the process of going around and looking at old houses.
確か
Oh,
に。
you're right, but
これはあれ。
this is that thing
日本語で
in your language.
一石二
Killing
鳥。
two birds with one stone. Yeah, that covers it. I was engulfed in a familiar atmosphere upon opening the front door, and a voice I recognized greeted us from the bar.
いらっしゃいませ。
Welcome. Ah, it's it's Junkun. Hold on a second. The girl waved both hands at me from behind the counter. She was concealed by the counter, so I could only see her from the shoulders up, though.
お待たせ。ゆくるへようこ
Sorry for the wait. Welcome to Yukuru. You're working today, huh, Rinchan?
そ。そうだよ。
I am. Let me introduce you, Chinyu. This is Rinchan, the cafe's poster child.
よろしくね、りんちゃん。
Huh. Apparently I got a gift. Bah. Of course not. Huh. You know, I am very much wondering some of these Pokemon I've got. Huh, wonder if I have one of those. Oh yeah, I do. Huh. Money. What the fuck? Why is that even a possibility? Okay, I guess I'll use the other Poke ticket as well. Ayo! That's a good get. That's a skin for a Pokemon. That's to say it's a regional type, so it looks different than normal. Yo, dog, I heard you like golden tickets. Right? After some brief introductions, Rinchan stared straight at Chinyu.
どうかしましたです。
Is something the matter?
うーん。
Nuh-uh. I was just thinking how pretty you are.
あな
You're
たも
so
とっても可愛い
cute.
ね。
My name's Chinyu
うち
Huang.
ワンチュンユー。ワンチュンユー。
Chinyu Huang-chan? Shinya smiled sweetly at Rinchan's awkward-sounding response.
好きに呼んでください。
You can all call me whatever you like.
じゃあチュンちゃんね。
Chinchan then. Everyone just calls me Rin.
はじめまして、リン。
Nice to meet you,
素
Rin.
敵なお店で
This
す。
is a lovely cafe. Happy to hear it. Rinchan replied as she elbowed my
チュ
thigh.
ンくんチュンくん。
Chinchan, you always bring a different girl here. Not to mention they're all
違う
beautiful.
よね。
Don't say things that'll make me sound bad. It was frightening to know that despite how she looked, she was only 9 years old. Was it her father's genes? Come to think of it. Rinchan, where is your dad?
トイレだよ。
The bathroom. Papa! Chinchan brought a pretty girl with him.
ほらリン、トイレって言うなって
Hey,
言ったろ
Rin. I told you not to
仮にも
mention the
飲食
bathroom.
業なんだから。
This is still a restaurant, you know.
と、純也くん、
And
いらっしゃい。
Junya-kun, welcome. Good evening, sir. This is the owner of the cafe, Shin Inoha-san. He had been running the place for a decade now. It was hard to get a handle on his age based on his appearance, but I assumed he was at least 40 years old.
ほらリン、お客様
Oh,
を
come
案
on,
内して。
Rin. Show our guests in.
お客さんいないんだから
I don't have any
好きな
customers
とこ
since
ろ
you can sit
座っ
wherever
ていい
you
の
want.
に。
Just as Rin said, there weren't any customers.
悲しくなること言わないでほ
I
しい、ね。
wish you wouldn't say something so depressing.
チュンくんこっち。
Shin-kun, over here, sit by the window. Thank you, Chinya, have a seat.
はいです。
Yes, I will.
お待たせしました。
Sorry for the wait. Rinchan brought 2 cups of hot coffee Inoha-san had brewed to our seats in an experienced fashion.
チュンちゃん
Here,
もど
for
う
you
ぞ。
too, Chin-chan. Yeah, here, for you too, Chin-chan.
ありがとうです、リン。
Thank you, Rin. After she set down her coffee, she put the tray under her arm and whispered into my ear.
ねえこれ
Hey, is this what they call
浮気ってやつ？
cheating? Wow. And we've got another ad break. Ugh. Uh, 30 seconds left, okay. Yeah, I know, Genki. Did you want to play that tomorrow? Because I might consider. I was hoping to, unless you need to work. I mean, if you need to work, I can do something else. It's fine. That's up to you. Like I said, I mean, you're the one that has to work. My stream's not as important as, you know, you doing what you need to. Well, I mean, wouldn't we all? huh?
だってジュン君は
Aren't
千
you
早
dating
さんと
Shihaya
付き
san,
合っ
or
てる
did
ん
you
で
break
し
up
ょ
with Shihaya san and you're
そ
dating
れ
this
とも
person?
千早さんとは別れてこの人と付き合ってるの？
こらリン、お
Hey
客様に
Rin,
プライベー
what
トを
did I
聞いち
tell
ゃ
you
ダメ
about
だってい
asking our
つも
guests
言ってるじゃ
personal
ないか。
questions?
ちぇー
Huh?
ごゆ
Well,
っくりど
please
うぞ。
enjoy yourselves.
ほんと、
I
誰に
seriously wonder who she takes after.
純也君に純也さん、ごめんな。
Junya-san, I'm sorry. Oh, it's alright. Please don't worry about it.
で、実のところどうなんだい
So, what's the deal? This dude just chastised his daughter for doing that. Now he's doing the same thing. I wonder where she gets it. You know, Hassan whispered into my ear, just like his daughter had done. I'm not dating either of them. That's enough. Please go back.
ではごゆっくり。
Do enjoy yourselves.
楽しい人たちね。
They seem like fun people. I'm sorry. Come on, drink your coffee before it gets cold. You know, Hassan recommended it after all.
はいでは
Yes, let's. She grabbed the cup and brought it to her lips.
いい香り。
It smells so lovely.
酸っぱいのと
It's
苦い
both
のが
sour
一
and
緒で
bitter, and I'm not familiar with this
知らない味。
blend.
でも
It
とて
tastes
も美味
great
しい。
though. I really liked
気に
it.
入ったです。
Glad to hear it. Helped myself to a drink of coffee as well. It's great. When you thought of yukuru, this was the flavor that came to mind. Although I wasn't especially knowledgeable about coffee, I rather enjoyed the deliciousness of its rather uncompromising flavor. Shinyu seemed to be genuinely enjoying her coffee as well. She let out a satisfied sigh and returned to the cup with its saucer. After taking a breath.
それではスケジュールを確認
Now
で
then,
す。
let's look over our schedules. After comparing our schedules, I agreed to give her tours on Wednesdays and Fridays after my lectures, and then all day on Saturdays. We had tomorrow off as well, but Shinyu agreed to start after the paperwork was drafted by my old man over the next 2 days.
サインを交わすまで仕事は始めない。
We're kept again
Keyaku wa
until
daiji yo.
signatures are exchanged. Contracts are important.
はい、ちょうどいただきます。
Okay,
Ryo
it's a
shusho kiru
receipt.
kai?
Would you like a receipt? No, I don't need one today. This isn't for work after all.
律儀だね。
How conscientious. Oh, that's right. About what you requested before, Jin-san. Finished the repair, so he said he'll bring it by after work is over. I had gotten a Shoko message from Jin-san while I was talking with Shinyu.
レコードプレイヤーか？
You mean
あ
the
りが
record
たい。
player?
リ
Thank
ンが
you.
フリマで見つけて買ったんだけど
Rinse snagged.
動かなくて難儀してたんだよ。
Oh, excuse me. Rin snagged it when we went to the local flea market, so it was a pain when we realized it didn't work.
ジンに頼んで正解だったな。
It was right to ask Jin for help. I had heard it was just the belt was broken, so it just needed that part replaced.
これで店の
Gotta be
BGM
able
を
to
レ
use
コ
the
ードでいけ
records
そ
for
うだな。
background music at the cafe now. Ino-san said, showing off a few records he dug out from under the register. What are those records?
まあ、俺の心の
Well,
コンサー
Gold
ト
Home in the Heart, or at least
そんなイメージの
songs
曲
that
だ。
fit that impression.
そうだな。
Let me see.
例えば昔入り
Summer
浸ってた
tunes
カ
from
フ
the
ェの曲。
cafes I
って言っ
frequented
て
back
も
in the day.
実際にかかって
Well,
いた
they
わ
may
けじゃ
not
ない
have
んだけ
actually
ど
been
そん
played,
な気
but
持ち
that's
に
the
させて
feeling
くれる
they
んだ
give
よ
off.
な。デジタルもいいんだけど
The
こういうの
digital
はレ
versions
コー
would
ド
have
で
been
聞いて
fine
みたくて
too,
さ。
but I like hearing these on records. I'd had several opportunities to see records and their players at previous jobs, but I've never actually heard one play. Ah, Ben wants to listen too. Rinshaw, do you know about records? Mm-hmm.
よくわから
They
な
don't
い
make
け
much
ど
sense to me, but I know
で
they.
も回すと音が出る
I
っ
know
てこ
sound
と
comes out
は
when
わ
they
かるよ
spin.
かくいう俺も
In
レ
the
コー
same
ドと
vein,
かの
this
ア
will
ナ
be
ロ
the
グ
first
音
time
源
I'm
も初
hearing
め
the
てでさ
sound of analog
親
records
子
as
で聞く
well.
初めてのレ
Our
コード
first record is
なんか
Parent
よ
and
くね
Child. Doesn't that sound kind of nice? Indeed, it may suit this cafe well at that.
だろ
Right? So he said with an amiable smile came to his face. It was likely this expression of Ina-san that charmed the regulars at this cafe.
ま、今度来た時に曲は披
Well,
露する
I'd
よ
like to hear the
ジュニア君も
records
気に入
next
ってく
time
れ
you
るといいな
visit. I hope you'll enjoy them too, Junior-kun. That sounds good. I couldn't come up with anything clever to say and gave that vague
ご
reply.
ちそうさまでしたですま
Thank
た
you
来
for
ま
the
すね
meal. I'll come again.
いつでもどうぞ
Help yourself anytime.
ジュン
See you later, Jin-kun, Shing-chan.
はいですまたね
Yes, definitely. See you later, Rin. hadn't expected to spend so much time with Chinya today.
なんだかもう
It doesn't
純
look
也と
like
は
the two
今
of
日
us
会った
just
とは
met.
思えない感じだね。
Wonder why that is. Chinya had the same thought I'd had and gave me a peculiar smile. Yeah, I'm a bit surprised myself. I think I just got caught up in everything.
そう
Really?
純也のおかげだと思う
I
よ
think this is thanks to you, Junya. No, definitely not. Unlike Musura, I wasn't sociable enough to make friends that fast. We only reached this point because of how forward Shinya could be. Let's call it a day. You live nearby, right?
はいでは次は
Our
さ
next
て
appointment is the day after
楽しみ
tomorrow,
ね
then. I'll look forward to it. Well, we might bump into each other at the university tomorrow.
そうだ
That's
ね
true.
えっと
What
こう
are
い
you
う
supposed
時
to
何
say
と
at
言うん
moments
だった
like
っけ
this? Ah, I remember now.
純也うちのこ
I'll
と
be in your care for
末
many
永
years to
くよ
come,
ろしくお願
Junya.
いしますね
It might be more appropriate to say I look forward to working with you instead. Wow, Smoochum has appeared for the week quest, whatever. Yeah. Wasn't for many years to come something you'd say to a marriage partner?
そうなのです
Really?
日本語
Your
難
language
し
is
いね
difficult. Shinyu groaned in exasperation. True enough, there were nuances you probably wouldn't pick up on unless you lived here for a while. Alright, I should be going.
はいでは
Yes,
また
I'll
明日
see you tomorrow. Yeah, see you tomorrow.
純也さんは八方美人じゃありません誰にでも優しいってだけなんです
Shinyu-san isn't a people pleaser, he's just kind to everyone.
それが八方美人だって言ってんの。
And I'm saying that's what you call a people pleaser. When I got back this weekend, though, Aina-chan and that girl Saitomi-san were in the middle of an argument.
あ純におかえり
Ah, Junie, welcome home. What's going on?
アズーンが純にのことディス
Azun
った
said
から
something rude, so
あ
Aina
のが
kind
ちょ
of
いじめ
snapped. Azun?
アズーン
Azun! Misora pointed at Azusa as she spoke. Misora wasted no time in showing off her unique communication skills, however. She was okay with being called that? She didn't seem like the type would be a fan of nicknames.
出てるよ
She was, right, Azun?
その呼び方やめてってば。
I told you to stop calling me that!
アズーン
but
って可
Azun is so
愛いじゃん
可愛いとか。
It doesn't matter if it's cute.
純也さん
Ah,
おかえり
Junie-san.
なさい
Welcome home. Azusa tried to make a break for it the moment she laid eyes on me. Satomi-san. I quickly called out to her when she spun around to meet my gaze. I checked up on the spot thanks to her strong, piercing gaze.
あずさ、名字で呼ばないで。
Azusa. Azusa, don't call me by my family name. I messed up. I didn't think she'd get upset about that, though. Things really were going terribly from the get-go, weren't they? So, Azusa, are you hungry? Have you had dinner yet? Panic gave rise to more panic, and those words came flying out of my mouth. Oh man, what was I going on about? I shouldn't have asked her that. Why couldn't I have asked her something else? This is gonna make her even more suspicious of me. Oh? Azusa's expression just now was... Wait, was it my imagination?
八方美人。
People pleaser?
行っちゃった
She left? Jazzy, what's up, dude? How
あ
you
の
doing?
子純にのこと嫌いなのかな
Does she hate Junie or something? Even so, you don't need to say it out loud.
嘘嘘
No
みんな
way!
純にラブチ
Everyone's
だから
obsessed with Junie.
そうです
That's right.
みんな
Everyone
純也
loves
さんのことが
Junia-san.
大好き
It's
です
painful to hear her voice getting quieter, almost as if she had been forced to say it. Thanks, both of you.
でも純
But
に
thanks
の
to
尊い
Junie's
犠
noble
牲のおか
sacrifice, I
げで
more or
な
less figured
ん
it
と
out.
なく分かったんだな
Figured what out?
もちアズン攻
How
略
and Azan
法
over, of
ラブ
course.
シーな
I
作
came
戦
up
を
with
思
a
いついた
strategy I'm obsessed with. Misora grinned, seemingly convinced of her own victory. Try not to cause any problems for Azusa.
あの子の方が純也さんに
She's
迷
the one
惑を
causing
かけ
you
てます
problems, Junya-san. Aina-chan was still sulky. She was such a good girl to get upset on my behalf that you'd think she was angry for herself.
ってアイノそろそろ
Hey,
帰
I
った
know.
方がよくない？
Shouldn't you head home soon? Aino-chan looked at the phone and quickly grabbed her bag.
すみません
I'm sorry, I'm going home.
ハズンと遊んでたら
She almost took
時
a time
間忘
fooling
れちゃ
around
っ
with
たね
Azin.
遊んでないよ
I wasn't fooling around. That
あ
girl
の
was
子
just
はあ
so
んまり失礼
rude.
だったからそれより順にアイノのことを送ってってあげなよ遅くなっちゃったしさ
I don't think this is that kind of game. More importantly, Ginny, why don't you walk Aino home? It's gotten awfully late. Huh? Good point. I'll walk you home.
いいですか
Are you sure? Aino-chan didn't seem to fully like the idea. Was she being cautious around me? That was kind of depressing. Wow, you are fucking oblivious,
遠慮し
bro.
ない
It's fine, it's fine. Don't be modest. Why are you answering for her? I don't mind as long as you're fine with it, Aino-chan. Yes,
よ
please
ろしくお願
do.
いします
Thank goodness, she didn't seem to dislike me. We walked side by side after leaving Suigendo. It occurred to me that we rarely had a chance to be alone together, mostly because Misora was always around. How is school going? It's probably pretty tough now that you're a third year.
あの そう
I
ですね
suppose so.
あまり
Things
変
have
わ
not
っ
changed
て
much
ない
though.
ですけど先生たちは
My
受験の
teacher
こと
talked
を
about
よく
exams
話
a
しているの
lot.
で
It
3年生
certainly
になっ
doesn't
たんだ
feel
な
like
っ
I've
て
become
感
a
じま
third
す
year. Our innocuous conversation continued on like so. Whatever the case, I couldn't come up with any topics to discuss with a high school girl. I'd feel ancient if I even tried to ask Aino-chan what was popular these days.
あの
Hmm?
さっきの子なんですけど
About that girl from earlier.
Azusa-san
Her name was
って言うんですよね。
Azusa-san, right? What's your
ジュンヤ
relationship
さん
with
とは
her?
どういう関係なんですか
What was my relationship with her? Mysterious girl that had thrown the subject of Takaya at my face out of nowhere. Objectively speaking, I couldn't call her anything more than an acquaintance. It sounds like she knew my brother, but I don't know much more than that. I only just met her recently.
お兄さんの
Your brother. Aino-chan cast her eyes downward. She came over to hang out at our place a lot, so Aino-chan had known Takaya and had been around when he passed away. You don't need to worry about it too much.
はい
Alright.
でもどうしてあんなに
How does
ジュ
she
ンヤ
speak
さん
so
のことを
poorly of you,
悪く言うんです
Junya-san?
か会ったばかりで
If
Junya
you only
さんの
just
ことを
met,
知
she
りも
shouldn't
し
know
ない
much
の
about you either. Well, it seems as this has got her reasons for it.
うん
Aino-chan's face contained a mixture of bafflement and anger. She probably disliked that I had effectively sidestepped the question. Still, I appreciate you getting so upset for my sake. Thank you for that. Huh? No,
お礼なんて
you don't need to thank
私
me.
が
That
勝手
was
に
my
怒っ
own
てしまっただけ
prerogative
で
to get angry.
ジュ
The
ンヤ
whole
さんのた
idea
め
was
だ
for
なんて
you.
その
Do you think you could just ignore her next time she comes by? Oh, and I'm fine, really. I want to get to know Azusa properly. Maybe we'll reach a point where she'll eventually tell me what's bothering her. She did tell me her name at least. It makes me wonder if Azusa's willing to meet me halfway. I wanted to believe that to be true.
すみません
I'm sorry. Aino-chan?
私ジュンヤ
I
さん
got
の
in
気
the
持
way
ち
and
も
didn't
知らず
consider
に
your feelings first.
邪魔しちゃいましたよね
Her shoulders drooped downward. Oh, I screwed up. Why could I ever say a sensible thing at moments like these? No, you don't need to worry about that. This is purely an issue between the two of us, but I appreciate everything you did for me, Aino-chan. In fact, I think you're amazing.
すごいって
Amazing? It's difficult for me to talk to Azusa, and she's always running away from me. And yet, you and Misora were able to face her head on. I'm honestly grateful. How should I put this? Thanks to you, I'm relieved to know that she's the type to open up if you just talk to her.
ジュンヤさん
Chinya-san. Her expression brightened. Thank goodness, I thought she was about to break down into tears.
よかった
I'm
私
glad.
ジュンヤさんのお
I'm
役
so
に
happy I
立てて
could help
嬉しい
you.
ですもっと力にな
I
り
want
た
to
いっ
lend
て
you a hand whenever
い
possible.
つも思っているんですけど
Do I seem that unreliable?
違います
No, that's not
そ
how
う
I
いう
meant
意味
it.
じゃなくて、その
Chinya-san, I consider
私
you.
がジュンヤさんの私は
I
いつ
I
も
will
ジュンヤ
always be
さん
on
の
your
味方で
side.
すから
Yeah, thank you. Sorry, I guess it isn't the best time to have this conversation, huh? We'd better get you home. Hi! Yes! This girl is obviously obsessed with Jinya, and he is fucking oblivious to it. Probably still in chapter 2, I'm thinking. Yep, chapter 2. On a quiet Saturday afternoon. It's so peaceful. I took a seat on the guardrail and enjoyed the tranquility of the world. What an extravagant way to spend my day off. I couldn't go anywhere this time last year after all. I looked down at my phone when it vibrated and saw a message from Shinya on the Choco Talk app. There are so many wonderful houses. I gotta take a bunch of pictures too. I'm glad. Shinya and I had gone on a walk around Sumisora this morning. We had checked out all the places on our list, but she wanted to take additional exterior photos of some of the nearby houses. I offered to tag along, but she claimed it wasn't necessary and went off on her own. You don't need to do anything necessary for our contract. Why don't you take a break? I walked around too much, though. I'm not sure where I am. Hey, now. Should I come meet you? I just kept walking straight. I'll just go back the way I came. Alright. I guess it's fine, then. There's no need to rush. Take care and be safe. I'll buy us drinks at the vending machine. What do you want? Consider it a treat from a satisfied customer. It's compensation for coming out on your day off. I'd appreciate it. I'm fine with whatever you pick. This was the 4th time I had guided Chinyu around the city. She was direct about everything she did and said, so I tried to do the same in return. I felt like I had fully opened up to her. There were several instances where the residents of the homes we visit were surprised by Chinyu's candor, but I was able to smooth things over. She'd gotten to see roughly half the homes she wanted to visit, but not without adding a few more to our list. While we were out and about at the rate we were going, we'd likely finish touring Sumisora before Golden Week. Golden Week. When you thought of consecutive holidays in May, it was peak season, which all of Sumisora welcomed in a barrage of tourists. Everyone was enthused to make up for last year. With how hyped everyone was in the shopping district, my old man Jin-san would undoubtedly be swamped for the next few days. It was because of their busy schedule that the Misora complained left and right about having to mind the store, but she simmered down after learning she would be compensated appropriately. I'd help out Jin-san with work on days I wasn't guiding Chinyu or attend the shop in Misora's place. With all of that in place, I hadn't seen Chihaya or Hinata this week. Our schedules hadn't matched up at university either. Well, not like that was especially weird. It was about time for... I figured this time would come. I'm free tomorrow. Can we meet up at the old estate? Yeah, I've got the day off. Thank goodness. Come by in the afternoon. Hinata will tag along with us as well. Don't want to meet up at Suigendo? I'm going with father to visit an acquaintance in the evening. Going out twice means getting ready twice. Is that how it goes? Got it. You seem busy lately. Keep up the good work. You haven't been at your usual spot at university either. I got hired for a big job as a tour guide. I see. It's great that it's going well, but don't forget about me either. Sure. Just gonna leave her on red, huh? Renovations, huh? I wonder how those are coming along. Whew. Renovations? Whoa. I'm sorry? You just surprised me. Did you get to take your pictures? Yes, I did. Take a look. Shinyu showed me one photo after another on her smartphone. I It seemed like an old, ordinary houses that, to me, seemed to take on more of a Japanese spirit when taken from Chunyu's perspective. It was kind of wondrous.
それでリノベって
So what's this job about renovations?
日本っぽくないね。
Sounds weird coming from you. Oh, renovations? It's basically like remodeling, I suppose. The house my friend's grandpa lived in went vacant after he passed away. We've been talking about whether it can be remodeled into a place where people can hang out at.
へえそれは興味深いよ
Wow, that's very interesting. And because it's an old building?
それも興味あるけ
Of
ど
course, but I was actually
リノベー
talking
ション
about the
の方ね
renovations. Really? If it gets remodeled, it'll likely lose some of its former aesthetic.
時代が変われば家が変わるのは当然
It's natural for homes to
その
change with
変化も
time.
家
That
の
goes for
一
any
部なの
house,
よね
really. Wow, I guess I just assumed you would dislike that sort of thing.
家は人の営みがあってこその場所
Houses
よ
are designed for humans to use. To
建物を守
sacrifice
るた
one's
めに
lifestyle
生
to
活が
protect the
犠牲に
building
なるのは
would be
終編十も
that word.
昔の人の思いを
To
受け継ぎ
inherit
つ
the
つ
sentiments of those who
今の
came
人の
before
営
while
みを
making the
豊かにする
activities of the current occupants
と
more
ても大事な
affluent.
こと
It's
だ
a very
よ
important thing. She really hit the nail on the head with that one. Perhaps it was just being short-sighted. As impressed as I was with Shinyu's perspective on the situation,
純也がどんな風にリノベーション
I'm
をす
interested
る
in
の
what
か
kind
興
of
味あるです
renovations you'll be
その
performing.
家も
I would
い
love
つ
to
か
see
見て
that
みた
house
いね
someday too. You're welcome to join me.
本当に嬉しい
Really?
で
I'm so happy. This is just looking forward. Shinyu was taken aback.
すでも
But will your
友
friend
達は
mind?
大丈夫
She had a point. I needed to be more mindful of that sort of thing. I don't think she'd mind, but I'll check in with her to be sure.
はいです
Sounds good. I'd imagine Chihaya would give the green light with a single message to Choco. Perhaps I'd ask her about it tomorrow.
今の純
You
也
look more
い
serene
つも
out
よ
right
り
now
心
than
が穏や
usual.
かに見えるよ
What does that mean?
さあ
Who
お
knows?
話の相手が
Perhaps the
大
person
事な
you're
方な
talking
んじ
to
ゃ
is
ない
someone
です
important to you. Didn't fully click with me, so I shrugged. Might be because of where we are.
場所
Where we are? My brother died in an accident. I've come here often ever since. It's difficult to explain, but I think I feel closer to my brother here than at home.
純也
Shinya! I was surprised Shinyu leaned in close and placed her hands on my
あ
shoulders.
なたは生きてるです
You were alive.
忘れないで。
Don't forget that. Her intense gaze made my heart clench. Well, where is this coming from? Of course I'm alive. I gave that lighthearted response to try and gloss over the pain. Junya stepped away, seemingly discouraged, and took a seat on the guardrail at my side.
純也は見ていて心配になるのよね
I was worried as all. I
この
couldn't
前
help
友
but
達
think
か
of
ら
what
聞
a
いた
friend told
彼
me
氏み
once
たい
about
だ
her
よ
boyfriend. I appreciated the change of subject. Chunyu likely hadn't planned for it, but I was grateful and went along with it. Is this a friend from the university?
そう留
Yes,
学し
we
て
became
最初
friends
に
when I
仲良
came
く
to
なった
study
女の子
abroad.
よ
She is a very
す
cute
ご
and
く可
wonderful
愛くて
person.
その子よく
She has
彼
to
氏の
complain
口
about
を
her
うちに
boyfriend
言う
whenever
の
we
よ
talk. What does she complain about? Is he mistreating her or something?
じゃなくて
No, he's
とて
very
も優
kind,
し
and I
くて
hear he listens
頼め
when
ば
he
聞いてくれ
when
るん
she
だって
asks some things too.
けどそれは
But that
彼女
doesn't
だけじ
apply
ゃ
to
ないのよ
just her.
相手が誰であってもと
He
て
is
も優
very
しく
kind
て
and helps us
頼
in
みを
need, no
聞い
matter
てくれ
who it
る
is.
友達はま
She
るで
thinks
そ
he's
の人が
secretly
自
falling
分自
apart
身
and
を
spreading
削って
himself
分け
too
与え
thin,
てる
and
みたい
she's
だって言っ
really
てたよ
concerned that he'll eventually
見てい
disappear.
て危ういいつかなくなまあ友達
Oh,
は
my friend may be
私だけ見てれ
thinking
ばいい
he
のに
should
っ
just
て
look at me
思っ
and
てる
only
のかも
me.
ね
Shinyu smiled and gently shrugged her shoulders, then turned to me with a serious look in her eyes.
純也にも同
I
じ
got
危う
the
さ
same
を
sort of
感
vibe
じる
from
の
you,
よね
Junya. It's okay to be
もっ
more
と
honest
自
with your
分の欲望
feelings.
に忠実になっていいのよ
That's easier said than done. I don't really need or want very much.
それが危ういと言っているのです
And that way of thinking is dangerous. Yeah, that's not an exaggerated sigh. I'd answer her honestly. Besides, what does she mean by dangerous?
まあいいよ
Well,
そ
fine.
れより
More
も
importantly,
来週
let's
の
double
スケジュ
check
ールを
what's
決めるです
check next week's schedule. Sure, why don't we settle in somewhere? It'd be awkward to keep standing around
この前行
talking.
ったお店がいいです
I thought for the cafe we went to before. What was it called again? Yukuru.
そうゆくる
Yes, Yukuru.
うち
I took a
あの店
liking
が
to
とて
it.
も気に
Alright,
入っ
let's
たん
get
です
going.
さあ移動開始よ
「 The next day, Sunday, I fulfilled my promise of swinging by the Hojo estate where Chihaya lived. From Suigendo, it was just beyond the Hachiman Shrine, then over the Rika rail tracks. It took about 15 minutes on foot if I didn't get caught up in the railway crossing, which meant we were effectively in the same neighborhood. As an aside, the Issei residence where Hinata's family lived was right next door. The Hojo and Issei families, excuse me. Oh, I thought this said Isle. Along with their assistants, had been treated like local celebrities since the Meiji period. I didn't care about politics or power dynamics, so that kind of thing went over my head. It's been a while since I came here for anything other than work. The Hojo family was a valued customer of Suigendo, often employing us for odd jobs like moving heavy objects and home repairs each and every month. We often hung out at each other's homes when we were younger, but visits became infrequent as we got older. The last time I had come over was most likely for her engagement party with Takedo-san. Even now I could vividly recall how delighted Chihaya looked back then. I turned toward a sudden noise and discovered a black luxury vehicle had stopped in place. Takedo-san held up his hand from the driver's seat. One of the back seat opened and the head of the Hojo family appeared from within.
Junya-kun!
Junya-kun! Hojo-san, good afternoon. Chihaya's father, Tadayasu Hojo-san, was an active member of the lower house in parliament. He was what you would call a political representative.
旧宅の話をするんだろ
I heard from Chihaya that you're here to discuss the old estate, right? Why don't we go inside together? Hojo-san got out of the vehicle and turned to Kida-san in the driver's
夕
seat.
食会は千早も
I'll
連
bring
れて
Chihaya with me to
す
the
ぐ
dinner.
出せるようにしておいて
Make sure they have the food ready to be served when we arrive.
心得ています。
As you wish. The vehicle passed by me and headed for the parking area. It only lasted a moment, but my eyes met
待たせた
Kida-san's.
ねさあ行こ
Sorry for the wait. Shall we? Yes, sir. It was a short walk from the yard to the entryway, and the service door allowed for immediate access into the house and the parking area. If I had to guess, Hojo-san likely used the entrance
う
regularly.
君とこうして話すのは
I
高
don't
谷
believe
君
we
の
had a
葬
chance
儀以
to
来
chat
か
since Takeya-kun's
な改め
funeral.
てお悔やみを
Once
言う
again,
よ
please allow me to express my condolences. Allow me to thank you instead. Kida-san was genuinely great help to us back then. Dad fell into a deep depression after losing my brother, much worse than when we lost Mom. And Kida-san had taken over all the funeral arrangements. Naturally, Hojo-san had been the one who instructed Kida-san to assist us.
君たちとは家族のようなものじゃない
Wouldn't you
か
say we're like
当然
family?
のことだよ
It's only natural. I didn't remember it well, but the Hojo family had apparently assisted us back during Mom's funeral too.
私から見ても
From
高
my
谷君は立
perspective,
派な男性
Takeya-kun
だっ
was a
た
fine man.
彼を
His
失っ
loss is a
たの
shame
は
for us all.
スミソラにとっても
Sumi-san.
残念なことだ
Takaya would have loved to have heard you say that. It was exactly as Hojo-san said. Everyone from those in the shopping district to the Young People's Association relied on Takaya. If only it weren't for that accident.
時に純也君
By the way, Junya-kun. Rather than call for Chihaya, we walked inside. Hojo-san lowered his voice and his expression grew stern. Yes? We have an ad break. And fucking past it. Wait, what? I literally just saw the message for the ad break, and apparently the ad break is over already. So I just read through the whole ad break. Is Frosty just really slow? Is my chat not updating properly, or what? Maybe I should just keep my friggin' stream on the other side just so I can see when ad breaks pop up just in case.
高谷君が亡くなる前何か変わったことはなかったかね
Did anything strange happen to Takaya-kun before he passed away? Something strange? No. Nothing seemed odd at Suigendo.
そうではなく高
That's
谷
not what I
君に
meant.
だ
I was referring to Takaya-kun specifically. To Takaya? I was just asking about Takaya.
いや何
Oh,
大したことではないん
doesn't
だが
amount to much, but
気に
something
なるこ
about
と
it
があって
bothered
ね
me. What was he bothered by? Hojo-san?
おかえりなさいお父様。あら
Welcome back, father.
Junya も一緒だったのね。
Junya's here too.
外で見かけてね
We happen to
Korea
bump into
Tanama.
each other. Here, take this, please. Sen handed his bag and came to Chihaya.
お部屋に持って行きますね。
I'll just bring this to your room.
Junya
Junya,
は
I'll see you in the living room.
ひなた
Hinata's
はもう
already
来てる
there.
から。
Chihaya vanished up the stairs to the second floor, and Hojo-san looked at me with his usual gentle demeanor.
すまない。今の話
I
は忘れてく
apologize.
れ。
Forget what I
私の
just
勘
said. It
違
was
い
my
だった。
mistake. A mistake?
もう年だな。
I should get older.
昔を
Events
思
tend
い
to
出
get
そうと
jumbled
する
together
と
in your head.
出来事が混ざってしまうようでね。
Right.
ゆっくりしていきなさい。
Please, make yourself at home.
千早は出かけるが、
Chihaya has some
君たちは
events
く
to
つろいで
attend
いけ
later,
ばい
but
い。
you are welcome to stay and
昔の
relax
よう
like
に
you
ね。
used to. See you later.
それじゃ。
始めましょうか。
Why don't we get started? What kind of
人が
place would
集
people
ま
want
る
to
場所っ
congregate
て
to?
どういうところかし
We
ら。
began our discussion after we helped ourselves to some expensive looking tea and sweets.
やはりお店でしょうか。
A shop, I would assume.
人が集まるって
That's the
言っ
first
た
thing
ら
that comes to
それよ
mind, but what
ね。
would we even sell?
そうですね。
A good question.
和服に合
How
わ
about
せる小
accessories that
物
go
は
with
どうでしょ
Japanese
う。
attire, like
手ぬ
towels
ぐい
or
とか
hairpins?
かんざしとか。
それいい。スミソラの職人さんな
That
ら
sounds great.
お願い
I know a
でき
few
る人
tradesmen
何
around
人か知って
Sumisora
る
I could
わ。
ask. Eateries are a staple too, like a cafe or a restaurant.
それもいいわね。
Oh, I like that
お
idea
じい様の
too.
家なら
Grandfather's house would
洋
fit
風
either
でも和
Western or
風で
Japanese
も
style
雰囲気出
cuisine.
るし。あの家、
They had
昔は
several
専
full-time
任のコ
cooks
ッ
on
クが
these
何
days, so
人
it
も
was
い
a
たの。
full-fledged kitchen.
だから厨房も本格的なの
Wow,
よ。
they did. Full-time cooks. That was the Hojo family for you. They did things on a different scale.
何を作るかにもよ
I'd
ります
imagine
が、
handling food would be
食
difficult
材を
to
扱う
manage,
の
but
は管
it
理が
also
大
depends on
変
what
そう
we
です
make.
ね。
それもそう
And
ね。
that's another good point. Why don't we
売
narrow
る
down
も
what
の
we
を絞
sell?
るの
We'll
は
be
どう？
we'll sell
出来合いの
ready-made
ものを
items.
買っ
Once
ても
they're
らう
sold
の。
out, that's it for the day.
完売したらその日
Like
は
a
終わり。
bakery
ドーナツ屋さんとか。
or a donut shop.
どっちも素敵。
Those sound lovely. I can picture it.
他にはお
Oh,
店以
what
外
else? Do
の
we
ア
have
イデ
any
ア
other
はな
ideas
い？
aside from eateries? Kids can come by and play in the yard if you convert it into a
お
park.
屋敷を丸ごと画廊にするのもありでしょうか。
The entire estate can be turned into an art gallery.
なるほど。
I see.
公共施
Let's
設
turn it
に
into
す
a
るの
public
ね。
facility. In that case,
だったら
I've given this a lot of thought over the last week, and a variety of suggestions are being made in rapid succession. Like how things are going, I bet we could nail something down in no time. Or so I had thought.
うーん。
There's just so many
ど
good
れ
ideas
も
to
良く
choose
て
from.
決められないわね。
And Nada and I continued to throw out more ideas while Shihaya considered the validity of our suggestions. Shihaya was having some trouble narrowing down our options, and the conversation gradually took a turn for the worse.
ひとまず物を
Can
売
we at
る
least
店に
decide
する
whether
のか
this
どうかだけで
shop
も
will sell
決めませんか。
merchandise?
そうよね。
I get where you're coming from,
でもな、
but you
かん
know,
ざし屋も
a
画
haircut
廊
shop
も
or art gallery are
どっ
both
ち
lovely
も素敵よね。
ideas. Your Hojo family owned the old estate, but Shihaya should still be the one to make that call. Unfortunately, she had always been terrible at making a decision. Now I both knew that, so we didn't think much of it. Well, it's not something you need to decide right away.
それはそうなんだ
You're
け
right,
ど、
but I was hoping we could figure out which
大方
direction to
針
go
くらい
in.
は決められるかなって思ってたのにな。
What did you picture when you decided you wanted to create a gathering place? Hmm? It was an innocuous question, but a rather peculiar silence fell between us. I said
そ
something
れ
odd.
は
Well, about that,
提案したのは私です。
I am the one who suggested it. Really?
千早様が
Chihaya-san
住宅がなくなって
Well,
し
said
まう
she
のは
wanted to
避けたい
avoid
とおっ
losing
し
the
ゃる
old
ので、
estate, so I said, why
あ
not
の
turn it
家
into a
を
place people
人
could
が
congregate
集まる場
to?
所にしてはどうかと。
Alright, I'll be right back again. Sorry, I'm just not feeling too great today. I'm gonna go on the be right back stream. I'll return shortly. Okay, I'm back. Sorry. Like I said, I don't know. Feeling kind of off today. Okay, yeah, no, I read this line, right?
さすがひなたでしょ。明暗だって思ったの。
She's so smart. I really did think it was a good idea.
私としては
I
壊す
personally
まで
ended
の
it as
間
a
の話のつもりだったん
until
で
it's
すけどね。
demolished.
私は壊すのが嫌なの。
I don't want it to be demolished. I get what's going on now. We've reached the point where we've come up with so many ideas that none of them click with you, right?
そうね。
Let me think. Jay gazed at vacantly at the expansive
食べ
ceiling.
物屋さんかな。
I guess an eatery?
喫茶店か。
Like a cafe or a
Restaurant.
restaurant? A restaurant was a high hurdle, just as Hinata had said earlier. Then again, she could just change her mind later. This was her decision after all. Want to stop by Yukuru? We could scope it out to get a feel for the restaurants, or maybe even get some advice from Inahu-san.
いいか
That'd be nice.
私も賛成です。
I agree, but
とはいえ
then it is about time to get ready.
千早さん、そろそろ支度した方がいいんじゃな
Perhaps
いか
you
な
should。be getting ready instead, Chihaya-san.
も。いけない。も
Oh
う
no,
こんな
it's
時間。
already so late.
純也、ごめんなさい。
Junior, I'm sorry. Let's pick this
続
up
きは
later.
また今度ね。
You got it.
ひなた、髪のセッ
Hinata,
ト
could you
お
help me
願い。
with my hair?
お任せください。
Please, leave it to me. They stood up in unison and headed for the
重田さん、
door.
すぐ準備しますので。
Shigeta-san, I'll be ready shortly.
ごゆっくり。
Take your time. I let out a small sigh.
お疲れだね。
Good work.
いつものこと。
Is it
Huh?
the usual? Huh?
ほら、千
You
早さ
know,
んの。
from Chihaya-san. Yes, I suppose. He was referring to what I had said about Chihaya's behavior last time we spoke. Had what I said bothered him? If so, then I clearly messed up. I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to talk about Chihaya behind her back.
ああ、いや、いいんだ。
Oh, no,
気
no,
に
it's
してな
quite
い。
alright.
大丈夫。
Don't worry, you're fine. Kida-san replied in a hurried tone, then took a seat beside me for whatever
気
reason.
を悪くしないでほしいんだ
I
が
hope you won't take offense from
千
this,
早さ
but
ん
I
が
heard を
君
from
の話をして
Chihaya-san
ね。君が
that you are still
Takaya-kun
feeling
のことを
burdened by the
まだ
loss of your
抱えてる
brother,
と。
Takaya-san. Chihaya did. A lot of people sure brought up Takaya today. I had no idea she was so worried about me. I'm fine though, really. I mean, there were times when I couldn't sleep and moped around.
そうか。なら
I
いいんだ
see.
が。ちょっと
I
心
hope
配になっ
that's
て
all there
ね。
is then. I've been a bit worried. Thank you very much. I appreciate your concern.
純也君は僕にとって
I
の
to give
弟
you
み
like
た
a
いな
little
ものだ
brother,
と思ってい
Jinya.
る。だから困った
So
こ
I
とが
hope
あ
you
った
will
ら
tell me
いつでも
whenever
言って
something
ほ
is
しいんだ。
bothering you. Nothing's really going on. Then it was at that moment. I recalled what my old man had mentioned over breakfast. Come to think of it, I heard Takaya was searching for something.
探していた
Searching?
何を
For what? No idea. I only just learned about it recently from my dad. I guess there isn't much point in me asking you about it, Kido-san. I'm sorry.
君は何も聞いていないん
You
だ
haven't
ね。
heard anything about it then? Right.
探してた。
Takaya-kun was
Takaya.
searching for something. Kido-san brought a hand to his chin and seemed to be lost in thought. Is everything okay?
いや、ごめん。
Yeah,
何か思い
sorry.
当たるような気
I
がしたん
thought
だ
I
が
remember、something, but it
1年前
happened
のこ
so
と
long
だ
ago
ろ
that I can't
すぐには出てこない
recall
よう
what
だ
it。was exactly. Sounds about right. Oji-san said something similar earlier too.
先生が
He did. The door opened and both Chihaya and Hinata entered the room.
重田さん、支度が済みました。
Shigeta-san, I'm ready to go.
千早さん、
Chihaya-san. Shigeta-san stood up from the sofa and approached Chihaya.
華やかになったね。
You look gorgeous. I hardly recognize you.
嬉しい。
I'm delighted. To be honest, she looked the same as she always did to me. That's what I was thinking. I clamped my mouth shut when Hinata shot me a look that said, "Don't say a
お待た
word."
せしてごめんなさい。
I'm sorry for the wait. Let's go.
純也君と話が盛り上がってね
I was having a
退屈
rousing
しなかったよ。
conversation with Jinya-kun, so no need to apologize.
まあ、
Oh
どんな
my,
話
what
を
were you
さ
two
れたの？
talking about?
男同士の秘密さ。
Just guy
No.
talk, right,
純也
Jinya-kun?
君、
Peter-shun shot me a quick glance. Yes, it's a secret.
まあ、
It's
そ
not
の
fair
方
you
だ
keep
け
it to
でずるいわ。
yourselves. Shall we get
行こうか。
going?
え
Yes, alright.
それじゃあ
Jinya, Hinata, see you
ジュンヤ
later.
ひなたまた
Yeah.
今度ね
Later.
いってらっしゃいませ。
Have a safe trip. Chihaya pulled her arm around Shigeko's. They walked down the corridor looking quite chummy. You know, I think I might call it an early night. Like I said, I'm not feeling the best. I think I might just want to lie down a little bit, try to get some more rest. Much as I hate to call a stream early, it's not what I like to do, but... Hope I'm not getting sick again. That would suck. What? Yeah, thank y'all for coming and hanging out. It's been lovely having you here. Hope you guys found the game entertaining. But we'll be back tomorrow night, theoretically, with some Hunt Showdown. Yeah, message liking to see if he's good to try playing with us as well. Yeah, I'm gonna try to, I don't know, lie down and get some rest because I'm just feeling blah today. We're gonna send a love over to my buddy Dragon. He is playing Amanda the Adventurer. He's a really cool dude with an epic beard. Be sure to show him some love. He's a good guy. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and hope to see you in the next one. Much love, y'all. Bye.